All right. In 5, 4. Hello. No.
Hello.
You know what? I thought the mics went out, but it was just the headphones.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, you beautiful freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of a turkey-filled episode of FREAKQUELS. I'm EJ Leeson, and with me today, always, the handsome man himself, Rory Colorasi. What's up, buddy?
I am so excited today.
Me too. I'm super excited.
Yeah. This is a very special Thanksgiving episode
Yes.
that definitely wasn't recorded before Thanksgiving.
Not at all.
There's no chance.
There's not even a slight chance this was recorded the day after the election. No way.
And
Yeah.
certainly no way to prove it.
Right, exactly. And today, special guest, quite special indeed. He was an extra in films like Selma, Ford vs. Ferrari, and he also was an extra on the show The Originals. Also worked with Troye Sivan on the film 3 Months. My friend, BFF, who I've known since high school. Excuse me, what's your name again?
Hey.
Carl Mills. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Hey, what's your name again?
My name is Carl Mills.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up? I'm good.
What's it feel like to be out of jail?
Feels liberating.
Liberating, yeah.
Dude,
I thought you were going away for a long time. It's a commentary on our justice system that a monster like you could just walk out.
Yeah. You know, what does that say?
They're paying attention to other things.
They got other things going on.
Yeah.
Who can keep track of all the crime?
But you got to do a lot of extra work on different things. I didn't name I named a lot, but not everything. Yeah. What was your favorite movie?
It feels
being
like
an
a
extra?
lifetime ago.
Yeah, because you were living in Georgia.
Yeah.
And then there was the jail time.
Then there was the jail time. And I was teaching, and actually, this happened around Thanksgiving. I filmed. It was Thanksgiving break, and I filmed Dolly Parton, the Jolene episode, and we got yelled at by the PA, because they wanted us to stop, and they're like, you're gonna see fireworks at this moment, but they didn't tell us there were any fireworks going on. So the guy was yelling at us. He's like, "Stop! Look up!" And we're like, "We saw nothing.
Look fucking up right now."
Yeah.
What am I looking at?
And he was really yelling at us, and all because he wanted us to stop and look at they were going to CGI in fireworks during the episode. So if you look right, Dolly Parton Heartstrings episode, you look at the Jolene, and right before the fireworks, you're going to see me, and I'm pretending I'm hugging this girl, I had a fake girlfriend during the scene too. It was really cool.
I would like to imagine that in the episode there's just a shot of you getting yelled at by the director.
Yeah. You're like, I'm looking up. What am I looking at?
It's this whole scene going on. And there's a guy with his finger in your face. Look up at the fucking fireworks.
Look up at the fucking fireworks.
I just want to act.
I just want to be here.
I don't know what your vision is. You have to tell me clearly.
But no, that's really so. That Dolly Parton was probably your favorite.
Yeah, that was my favorite because I got to ride a bunch of carnival rides.
Oh, that's awesome.
All night long.
Yeah.
Until I was very cold.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because it was around Thanksgiving.
That's awesome. And then as far as on 3 months, you actually worked as a COVID compliance.
Yeah. I took the temperatures.
Yeah. So you worked with Troye Sivan. Mm-hmm. And what was the one actress you
Brianna Chu, TSU.
Yeah.
She was so sweet, yeah.
And what was she in recently? You're like, oh,
she was in Scream, I want to say Scream.
Oh yeah, Scream 6.
Scream 6.
Yeah.
And she was on Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. What is it?
Witchcraft
Charmed?
or craft?
No, it was called Light as a Feather. Light as a
Oh.
Feather.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Oh, I don't.
But I remember you saying she was like really cool, and Troye Sivan was.
Who was
cool.
she in Scream 6?
She was on the one, the one twin, her girlfriend. She dies on the ladder.
Oh,
Ooh,
really?
Spoiler alert. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh.
She's like crawling across the ladder.
Yeah, the girl that's on the Looney Tunes ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I took her temperature. That sounds
Every day.
strange, but yeah.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. So one thing we like to do is we talk about movies we've seen recently. Carl, what are some movies you've seen recently?
Recently I've seen this movie. It's called Home Alone 2. It just came
Really?
out.
Brand
Go
new.
on.
And it's about this boy, Kevin McAllister.
Yeah.
And he gets lost in New York.
What? Of all places.
I know. He has an exquisite time.
I'm sure he does.
So New York, you say?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Without parents.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's definitely not structured like the first one.
What'd
It's
you
not
say?
like the same movie, but in like New York.
No. Like they do have his uncle's house that's like abandoned, and like I don't know, they have lots of fun there. But no, nothing like the first.
Oh, good.
So he's not like chased after the wet bandits again, is he?
Kind of.
Who just happened to walk into him in this major city. Hey, for the record, I don't care what convoluted nonsense had to lead them to meet up again.
Yeah.
We probably reference Home Alone and Home Alone 2 more than any movie.
Oh, dude. So listen to this.
We absolutely do.
Listen to this. Did you guys know that there's a singer that I was watching this Instagram live, this musician that he performs like in New York City, and he's just like he's like, come join me, come sing along. And so this musician and his wife and their daughter were walking home late at night, and they're like, oh, we're getting off of work for like she's a singer, she sings on like the Celine Dion Broadway show, and just so happens to be that she's a singer, and her mother is the model from that they pinch her butt.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh.
the father's like he's in some band like Styx or something like that.
Oh, what? Like band sticks?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
Come Sail Away?
Yes, I think it's that.
Interesting.
Yes.
That's insane.
I mean, fact check me. I'm probably wrong, but it's like a popular band.
I know if you go to
So not Sticks.
So maybe Styx. I don't know. I don't really remember.
It could be sticks. I know if you go to Central Park, there's actually a pigeon lady.
Yeah.
There's actually various pigeon
It's
ladies.
just my mom. She's still under that bridge, hanging out. Yeah.
And she's nothing like the neighbor in the first movie, right?
no, nothing.
That
Like,
Kevin was initially afraid of.
doesn't
but learned
bail
to-
him out for 1 second.
Like somebody he's afraid of that he
gets-
learns has a heart of gold.
Right. Nope.
Yeah.
She gets that dove ornament, and she's like, "All right, peace."
Turtle doves.
Turtle doves.
Home Alone and Home Alone 2 are fantastic movies.
Yeah. That's another sequel. I know we talked about Wayne's World 2 being another sequel that's like absolutely perfect. Home Alone 2. I think that's up there. I
Yeah.
think that's like a on par. Some people would even say maybe better than the original, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like great. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
I know it got like ripped apart a little bit when it first came out because it was sort of like, well, it's the first movie again, but in New York.
Right.
And I don't care.
I don't
When
care.
I watch it, it's so funny, and the commitment to the horrific violence at the end is just, it's commendable.
It's good. I like it. And
Like Kevin should have killed those guys with what he was doing to them.
especially with the bricks to the
Yeah.
face from like the.
Do you know what that would do to your skull?
story? You would
It's
have
a-
died.
At one point, he electrocutes somebody, and you see
Yeah.
like their skeleton.
Harry literally blows up. He sticks his flaming head into a toilet bowl full of kerosene,
As one does.
and you just see from the outside the whole room just go.
Yep.
And he survives with minor burns. Like he just
He's
looks
like scorched. Like he
Forget
Forget it.
he kind of walks out of that like he just cleaned a chimney.
Yeah, he had like a minor inconvenience in a coal mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I put a whole shift in.
It'd be awesome if like you saw him and like he looked kind of like that, and then he turned around and the whole back of his head was blown off.
Oh my god!
He just falls over. Kevin's like, "Oh my god!"
What if he came out looking like a melted gremlin? He's like,
Or like that thing at the end of that guy at the end of RoboCop.
yeah,
The toxic waste guy. See, that would have been better for your precious childhood classic.
Harry, you look really bad right now.
And then he, like, from what he sees that happened to his partner, just reforms him. Like, because next time you see Marv, he's like,
Oh my god.
he's just all clean shaven.
Yeah, he's like, I cleaned up my act, Mrs. McAllister, I swear.
I'll be
You
good.
shouldn't
Just
leave
don't
your
send that kid after me.
Just don't leave your son alone anymore.
Oh my god.
You gotta keep an eye on that kid.
He's cute right now, but there's a darkness in that kid.
There's something about him. And it just
Take
turns out-
this Bible. It may be the only thing that saves you.
And then you see their maid. It's all for you, Kevin. And she hangs herself. It's all for you. Mrs. McAllister's like, I don't know what that was about.
But I'm into it.
Oh, man. So, how about you, Rory? What are some new movies that you've seen?
Well, I watched the on Disney Plus, the streaming service I certainly never make jokes about. I watched the music by John Williams,
Yes.
the documentary on John Williams.
Was it good?
It's kind of incredible. Like, really, actually, rather incredible. Because
wanna see
you
it.
sometimes just forget how much music that guy made that's like, you just hear like a
Legendary.
second of it, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's like Harry Potter, Jaws, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Superman, E.T., Jurassic Park, Schindler's List. Like, that list just keeps going and
Me so
going and
horny.
going. That one for sure. Yeah, then there was Mambo number 5,
Mambo.
which was his weird one.
Yeah.
But
he was in a phase.
He was allowed to experiment.
Right.
He had certainly put his dues in. But no, it kind of goes into his childhood and to becoming the maestro.
Yes.
Because he really is just like an incredible life.
I would say he's probably one of the best composers for film of all time.
Do you just feel like you almost like hesitate to say he's the best because it's such an obvious answer?
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
kind of is.
He is.
It's just like, because there's ones that the composers I certainly like adore, like Bernard Herrmann
Right.
is like someone I love. But John Williams, it's like, I mean, the guy kind of made everyone's childhood. Take your pick of movies.
Seriously.
Even like a lot of those movies too that are like classics right now, I really do feel like are carried by his music. Like Star Wars isn't Star Wars without John Williams.
Oh,
And those
yeah.
prequels, for as much as people rip on them, you never heard anyone say, you know, music sucks. Duel of the Fates. Never happens.
Never.
Indiana Jones, friggin' just the list goes on and on and on. And on.
Superman.
Superman does
Yeah.
not work without that music. Like even Christopher Reeve said that in the documentary.
Yeah.
They have like a clip of him talking about how like you don't fly without that John
music.
Williams score. And
Yeah.
it's true. So I watched that and I recommend it. Be expecting the Disney Plus spinoff show.
Oh yeah, what's that going to be called?
Maestro all along.
Maestro all along.
So I watched that. Becca had an urge for us to watch Halloween 3 out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
I'm better for it because Halloween 3 rocks.
John
Season
Williams
of the
and the
Witch.
Winter Soldier.
Yes, it's
It's just,
Infinity Score.
oh man.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw Conclave.
Yes, how was it?
I loved it. Like I really, really, really love that movie because it kind of reminds me of like a type of film they don't always make these days.
Yeah.
It's like a movie that's made for like adults. You know,
Right.
like you really have to sit down and like pay attention to the movie. Yes, EJ, I'm talking about adult films.
Oh.
I see that look on your face. You want to make a joke.
Oh, I do. What
No, dude,
complaints, baby?
it's like all the like Ralph Fiennes is in it, John Lithgow, Stanley Tucci. Like,
the Tooch?
yeah, the Tooch is in, man, and he's Tooching it up.
Oh, I bet.
But it's like one of those like performance-driven pieces, and for what it's about, it should not be nearly as interesting. It's just the writing's so good, and like the editing of the movie is fabulous. So
Yeah.
I recommend it. Go see it because it's probably out of the theater tomorrow.
My plan is to go see it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those like Oscar picks.
Yeah.
It kind of has that sort of thing about it, but it reminds me of those movies that like when I was a kid I didn't want to watch. I'm like, oh, it's boring, and now it's like I'm older and I just want to watch movies like that all the time because I'm boring. And then because this Saturday I have something of an event that I have to do. I'm doing the Rocky run.
Oh yeah,
in
that's
Philadelphia.
right. Yeah.
So I watched Rocky with Becca last night, and just throw us out there. That movie never
Sucks.
ever. Yeah, I know, it just sucks.
So
What a terrible
bad.
film. If anything, it makes me not want to follow through with my dreams. I thought I could rise above until I watched that movie.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we're like gonna die now.
Gonna die now.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus. No, but dude, that movie, it just holds up. It is
It really
a
is
perfect
a
movie.
phenomenal movie.
It's so good. Like,
Sylvester Stallone is incredible. Talia Shire, right? Is that how you say her name?
yeah,
Yeah. She is like amazing. Of course,
Burt
Apollo
Young.
Creed. Yeah, Burt Young as Polly. Apollo Creed is just one of the coolest.
Carl Weathers is a force.
Yeah.
He is just like that guy could. There's no way that guy could have gotten through life and not become a movie star.
He's so charismatic.
Yeah.
It's insane, especially in that, like in those films, his charisma is like
Off
through
the
roof.
charts. I love
off
that.
the
There's
charts.
some really good acting too, from Stallone when they're in the ring together at the very beginning, and he does look a little starstruck by him.
Yeah.
Like he's just kind of like.
Oh, all right.
But like there is, he's just like Carl Weathers. It's such a shame that
I know.
like gone way too soon. And it's weird because I actually met him back in like 2012, and he's like that in real life. He's just larger than life presence, and I'm like, oh, you're so cool.
You're so cool.
I went and met him with a friend of the show, Matt Rinaldi.
Oh,
and
my
we
God.
both.
Yeah.
That's why we went to that thing. We drove for a couple hours just to go meet that guy.
Yeah.
Because we love Rocky.
It was
I love all
worth
the
it.
Rocky movies to varying degrees.
Oh, me too. Rocky 5 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I love
that
Rocky
episode's
5.
coming up, America.
Ah,
Rocky 5.
I can't wait. We gotta get Joe on the episode. He's gonna trash it, but you know what? I don't care. Because I
Coming
love
for
that
you.
movie.
Yeah, man. No, but yeah, I just to kind of get myself into that headspace of, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm running for a while.
So, for the listeners at home, you're running about 10 miles, right? No, you're definitely running 10 miles.
I'm running 10 miles.
And you have 2.5 hours to do it?
Yeah, which
Is
is,
that right?
yeah.
Okay.
Which shouldn't be a problem. The only thing I'm concerned about is that I may have been overworking it lately, and my foot is a little
Sore?
not good. But
Oh.
I'm gonna. You know, I just watched that Simone Biles documentary.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that?
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, man, she's such a badass. I feel like such a wimp next to her. I'm like, oh, my foot hurts, and she just like really looked like she damaged something, and she's like, tape it up. I'm like, all right,
Tape it
Becca,
up.
tape it up because Simone said so. No, that's another thing we watched. We finished it. We started it, and then they dropped the latest 2 episodes for the Simone Biles documentary, and that is 100% worth watching. It's
What is that on?
so good. It's not on Netflix. I know you're a big
okay.
fan.
I love it.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
you were in that Netflix Forever T-shirt.
I know.
Yeah,
Netflix and chill.
Netflix
Wax.
2028.
Netflix 2028. They're coming. But no, I have to watch that. I haven't watched it.
Oh, dude, it's something.
Yeah. She's awesome. I like her as a person. She's really cool. Don't know her, but she seems great.
She doesn't really like you very much, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So a few movies that I've seen. I went to see Here. Did you see it?
Here?
Yeah.
Oh no, the Tom Hanks flick.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna see it.
All right. We'll wait and we'll talk about that when you see it.
Okay.
Because I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it sentimental hogwash? Because that's what I'm hoping.
It is sentimental for sure. I feel like also
I want sentimental hogwash, as
yeah.
Mr. Potter says in It's a Wonderful Life. Sentimental hogwash.
I would say
That's for all you young kids out there
it
who
puts
love.
stuff in perspective. You're like, oh man, life is kind of short, because you see stuff happen throughout time. But like, I loved it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it. But 3 movies I definitely want to talk about that I saw recently. I'm really excited for the movie Anora coming out.
Ooh, me too.
And I have not. They've been on my to watch list for a while. 2 of his movies, and I ended up watching 3 of them. So Sean Baker's, I watched Red Rocket.
Yes, how awesome is Red Rocket?
It is crazy. As soon as it started and they're playing NSYNC, Bye Bye Bye, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love this.
When you said Red Rocket, I'm like, ooh, EJ heard Bye Bye Bye.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. It was hilarious. It's actually more lighthearted than the other 2 that I watched, but I still loved it.
Would you agree the pacing for that movie is awesome?
Yeah,
because I remember watching that for the first time and I was like, oh, 20 minutes probably went by, and then I'm like, oh, the movie's almost over.
Yeah,
it's it goes by real
fast.
quick.
And just what a glimpse into South Texas and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. My favorite character is probably the neighbor.
Okay.
Lonnie that lives next door.
Yeah.
Hey man, what's up? I know you like a saber. Yeah, he's my favorite character. And then I watched Florida Project,
which is also awesome.
Incredible, totally emotional, sad as you see stuff progress. But as I was watching it, I was like, man, this reminds me of growing up in Bangor Heights.
The projects?
Yeah.
Florida projects?
The Florida projects, yeah. No, but growing up, and I was like, man, this really felt authentic and real. I mean, all of his movies do, right?
Did Bill Skarsgård's Crow take you out of the movie at all?
No, the Florida Crow. He should have been there.
Yeah.
He should have been in this motel or hotel.
Yeah.
But I loved Willem Dafoe in the movie. He's incredible.
That's a bold statement.
I mean,
he's so wonderful.
He's so freaking good in that movie.
Always so good.
And then the mom is such an interesting character because she's so self-destructive. And even when people are helping her, she's still an asshole to the people that are looking out for her. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh man, it was really, really good.
She's her performance is so authentic that I'm almost convinced that they just
that was her.
Pushed her on set and said, go.
Yeah.
And say stuff. And you're like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
Yeah.
No, she's amazing in that movie.
She's really, really good.
I don't want to ruin the ending for anybody, but it does sort of seem like, without saying anything, those kids run in somewhere. Yeah. And it's almost like they didn't get permission.
Running. It's
yeah. All the people are just kind of looking at them and stuff as they're running away, and I'm like, whatever. Yeah. It's a great flick.
And then last but not least, and probably my favorite of all 3 was Tangerine.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
I didn't see Tangerine.
That guy did.
Somebody's a big fan.
Someone's like, dude.
Someone's a big fan, or they just had the worst day of their life.
Yeah. So Tangerine is incredible. It's definitely my favorite out of the fruits, the Sean Baker films. Yeah. Yep. No, but out of Sean Baker's films so far, I feel like he's doing this Great American Tour, right? Because it's this one takes place in Los Angeles, but it's this seedier side of Los Angeles. You know what I mean? And he gives this voice to the voiceless, and it's about the 2 main characters are trans, and you see a day in their life, how one's really chaotic, and she finds out her boyfriend / pimp cheated on her, so she's going out after him and the girl that he cheated on, right?
I can relate.
I was going to ask you if you could just have your pimp wait outside, Carl.
Yeah. Tell him to wait. Tell Chester to wait out there.
I'm not a big fan of when people are leering at me while cracking their knuckles
Right. But
and telling me how much money he could make off me. That's also kind of, well, I guess it's flattering.
But and then the other trans woman, she is also a prostitute, and you see her, trying to make money. It takes place on Christmas Eve, and she's trying to make money so she could buy her way into a club so she can sing. And it's really sad, but not sad, but I mean it's great when she does go and she's trying to put on the show, and there's not a lot of people in this club, but you see all this stuff and how it plays out. And there's a scene at the very end that it was, I think this movie is one of the most important movies in the last 20 years. I'll just say that. And the director filmed all of it on 3 iPhone 6s, and he had adapted equipment, Sean Baker.
Yeah.
And I'm just it's incredible. It looks awesome, and I highly recommend that movie.
That's the funny trick about cameras, is that people get really, really hung up on older cameras versus newer cameras, and really, you can, if you know how to use it,
right?
You know what I mean? That's kind of what's important. You can do incredible things with a shitty camera.
Yeah. That's what. So after watching the movie, I went on this long trail of just watching everything behind the scenes or him talking about Tangerine, and he said, "Yeah, it's not shot the best because I couldn't really afford good cameras and stuff, but he's all the money I did have, I put towards the sound because I wanted that makes a movie." More than anything.
100%
sometimes.
correct.
Yeah.
And so he put all his money into hiring a person who's a professional sound designer and everything. And you could tell it sounds great, but the movie, even though it's shot on an iPhone, it looks incredible still. So it just goes to show you it doesn't matter what kind of camera you have.
You just have to know what to do with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I listen to people talk about it all the time. They're like, there's this new camera coming out and it's slightly better than the other one. And I'm like, well, if you know how to light a scene,
right.
You know what I mean? It's just the cameras are just so incredible now.
It's man. I urge everyone to just go watch Tangerine.
To our listeners, don't listen to him.
don't listen to me. But no, it's
really probably
was.
just filthy porn.
It's just it is. No, it isn't. But
He's
really
he's
good.
duped me before.
There,
Most of the movies.
Most movies. But I mean, I did get you to agree to watch the movie we're covering today.
You did.
I mean, you saw this in theaters.
I did
when it came out.
Yeah, can I tell you a story about it?
Yeah.
I also told this story on FREAKQUELS a while back, so this is a little bit of a refresher. Back when I went to see it on Thanksgiving, which was fun, except for the family next to us, who decided that they were just going to take a bunch of selfies through the movie so that they could put it on their Facebook and let people know that they were also seeing Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. And I just have to wonder, do people enjoy things anymore?
No.
Is it just do people just go through their lives trying to show you that they're doing things?
Yes.
Which is so needy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Literally, they're just all posing, trying to get the screen in the shot, and I'm like, I just hope you guys haven't checked your brakes in a while.
I saw a post on Miranda Lambert was mad because there was a group of people, they were enjoying her music. And I kind of was I didn't quite agree with her. They were taking a selfie in front of her, and she's like, turn around, put away your phone. She was so angry at them, and she stopped her performance, and she was very angry. And I was like, oh, it's kind of cringe, for her to stop the show. Yeah. But I mean, I get it though, because she wants you to just enjoy the moment and not, There's so many obstacles. Cell phones are kind of destructive, I guess.
They're very, very annoying when you're at a concert and you're trying to watch the show and the person in front of you is holding their camera up as high as possible so that it's just right in your field of vision. So that they can show people that they were at the concert again. Just to let you know where they are. It's funny because like I've heard musicians talk about this. They're like, like in the 70s, like those bands that have been around for a long time. They're like in the 70s, people would go to your concert to see you perform. He's like, and then it became a thing where like, people have cameras and they're like recording you and then they're just like uploading it onto like YouTube or their page or whatever. He's like, now there's this weird thing where people are not even looking at you. They're turned away from you, filming themselves, singing the song with us in the background.
Yeah.
And I'm like, society's just a big fucking mess.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on these tickets and I'm just not going to watch the concert.
Yeah. They're my background singers.
I know, it's like, it's so weird. And if anybody at home does this, you need to get your head checked.
When I go to a concert, I record
I'm just kidding.
one or two songs. I record fully because I just want to remember it. But other than that, like I not like you're not like you're going to a concert to like experience the music. Like I think that's the problem because like everything doesn't need to be recorded.
Yeah, you go to a concert to listen to music and to get a contact high.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, yes.
Because that happens. Like the first two bands play, and it's pretty much like okay.
Oh, this
and then
is cool.
the main band comes on, and then this
Wave.
wave of marijuana just washes over you, and you're like, you know what? Before the show started, I wasn't hungry, but I'm very hungry right
I need
now.
some nachos. Stat.
I am really fucking high right now.
But yeah, I that's so funny. It's so true. Every concert, it doesn't matter where you're sitting. You can be like close to the front or all the way in the bleachers, and like 4 or 5 songs in, all of a sudden it's just like a wave of
I know you're just like.
this aroma.
There's like these people just like waiting for the band to show off. They've got like the joint in their mouth and
They're
they're
like, all right,
ready to go.
I swear to God, if they play "Sweet Child of Mine," I'm lighting this baby up.
If they play that, I better not remember it.
I gotta remember that song.
Ooh.
No, but I do have to say, yeah, it is weird. Because even Creed, right? Seeing Creed, I think I recorded "What If" because I love that song so much. But I remember everybody just holding their phones up, and I'm like, oh, I have to really stand on my tippy toes this whole concert.
Yeah.
I was like, the next day, I was just like, man, my calves are sore. I feel like I didn't even walk that much. And then I'm like, oh yeah, because I was on my like tippy toes for most of it.
Yeah, there's always just some person who just
Oh.
has to record the whole concert.
So-
I had a guy like that in front of me at that show, and I was just kind of like peering around him.
I know. It's like, all right. And you have to like look around the person.
I did get to see him fall though, so that was cool.
Sometimes when I'm really like far back though, and like they zoom in and they have a really good camera, I'm like, I can actually see the performer.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
But yeah, so today we're talking about the movie Thanksgiving. This was a movie that was teased in the Grindhouse trailers during the movie Grindhouse, which was Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez film. And in between, they had these fake trailers. We saw like Machete. Don't by Edgar Wright.
What was it? The SS women of the
Werewolf women.
werewolf
right?
women of the SS or whatever.
Yeah. With Nicolas Cage.
Please make that.
Please make that Rob Zombie. And then, of course, Thanksgiving
Now,
by Eli Roth.
I wish Eli Roth stuck with the aesthetic
Me too.
because one thing
And
I'm
some
not
of
a
the
big
casting too.
one of the things I'm not a big fan of with this movie is the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that like the movie looks bad from a traditional
It's
standpoint.
just like modern.
Yeah,
It looks-
it's lit well. It's very.
Yeah.
Actually, there's are some shots in it that have like really like nice like Thanksgiving time vibes.
Right.
But I wanted that like grimy, shitty look that the Grindhouse
Like
movies have.
scratches
Yeah,
and-
like
yeah.
a missing reel here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was fun, and this movie just felt like, they were trying to go for like a 70s thing with the Grindhouse
Yeah.
trailers, and this felt very modern, but a throwback.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I felt like a 2000s remake. It felt like House of Wax.
Ooh, I was gonna give you one.
Yeah.
It read to me more like a bad attempt at I Know You Did Last Summer.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
This thing happened, and a year later, there's a guy in a costume.
I mean, it is like the same premise, right?
Yeah.
But I do feel like I Know What You Did Last Summer is very stylized and
It's
looks great.
incredibly underrated.
Super underrated. That first movie is really, really good.
I think we talked about that movie because we should talk about it at some point.
Yes.
But I remember growing up and people being like, "Oh, I Know You Did Last Summer" is just a ripoff of Scream, and I'm like, it's written by the same fucking guy.
Same guy wrote it.
Oh, are you sensing motifs? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never like really went with that argument because I always felt like I Know You Did Last Summer was like a little darker. It's like a little more serious than Scream.
Right.
But I remember seeing that in the theater when I was 12 and having to sneak into it because I wasn't old enough. And I was paranoid that someone was going to tap me on the shoulder and say,
I think my dad took me to see it, so I didn't have to sneak into this one.
Yeah.
For I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I had a dad back then.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
When I did see the fake trailer, I loved Michael Biehn was in the original. He was the sheriff in the original Grindhouse trailer of Thanksgiving, and I just remember him putting his finger in blood and then tasting it and he goes, "Damn it, it's blood." I was like, but they didn't keep. They kept the trampoline thing. I remember
Sort of.
that from the sort of, because in the movie it's much.
Yeah, it's a little rougher, and I feel like Eli Roth wimped out.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he's like a tacky filmmaker.
Right. You would think he would be like, "Oh, I'm going all in on this." Yeah, because
it almost announces itself too, because he knows the audience is
waiting.
A certain audience is waiting for that moment. So when you do see the trampoline, there's the spotlight that's cast onto it. Like, here we are. You remember this scene? And then he doesn't give it to you.
He doesn't,
which is fine because I saw it in the trailer. But still, I'm like, did Eli Roth wimp out?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? But
yeah, it's also speaking of the sheriff. You're referring to the Patrick Dempsey character?
Yeah.
Is that his same character from Scream 3?
Well, it's not Derek. It's Eric in this one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they dropped the D. My life.
Oh, no, Scream 3.
Yeah, Scream 3.
Isn't his name Mark?
Oh, is it Mark?
Mark Kincaid?
Mark Kincaid.
Yeah.
You're right. And then in this, it's Derek.
I'm going to need your horror
I
cred.
need to give you...
Yeah,
I can't believe I got a Scream thing around.
No.
God. But no,
all those hours on IMDb.
All those hours. I'm just getting lost on IMDb.
Carl, when we first started the show, he said to me, day one, that if that cop ever got brought up, he wasn't going to fuck his name up.
And I did.
I'm so disappointed.
My life.
Are you talking about McDreamy?
Yeah, McDreamy.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Carl, what was your first experience with Thanksgiving?
The holiday, not the movie.
Oh, the holiday. I'm sitting here with a plate full of turkey and mashed potatoes, and I'm having a grand time.
He is.
But,
we should have prepared a meal for this.
Didn't know
That
what
would have
to
been
see us
hilarious.
with.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a podcast.
We're just chewing through the whole podcast. People love hearing people
Loud
eat.
chewing.
Smacking a piece.
It's
Yeah.
like Tommy Lee Jones in that first Captain America movie.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
That was a choice.
Yeah. I mean, even Brad Pitt eats in every single movie, right?
Uh-huh.
But you don't hear him go.
No.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. But
Thanksgiving, Carl.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, I actually liked it. I would say it's kind of weird because it's got it's got TikTokers and stuff like that. I want to say the one girl I haven't done my research as far as the cast, the girl who's Addison, I think is Addison Rae.
Sure.
The one girl she sits in the very front of the car.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
She's the best friend. And
Yeah. She's with
Gabby.
Gabby, yeah.
Yeah.
She's with
these characters all
Evan.
are so memorable that their
Yeah.
names will never leave.
Yeah.
Gabby.
Gabby's with Evan, the guy who gets into fights.
He's sort of like they couldn't get Ashton Kutcher to reprise his role as Michael Kelso.
I guess so. I don't know that character. Here's the thing
We'll talk about him.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about this movie in a second. But a lot of the characters in this. Let's just tackle this issue right now.
Because it's an issue.
All the characters in this movie are very unlikable.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like maybe one kid that is likable, and he's not even in it that much. It's the Jacob kid who does the essay.
Sure.
For the bully, like,
yeah,
who we're supposed to care about, the bully. I don't know. So he's like the little kid that's like promoting the party and stuff. He's and David Schwimmer, Ryan.
Yeah,
like the guy who is like like her new boyfriend later on. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think I'm supposed to not like him, but I find him to be the best actor of all the kids.
Definitely the best actor.
And then also I'm like, I don't disagree where he's coming from.
Exactly.
Like he shows up, he's like, "Hey guys, you like that football game? Well, here's some free tickets." Like he's going out of his way to like be kind to this girl, and then like she's like really into this other guy who like bailed on her. She's like, "Oh, you ghosted me." I'm like,
yeah.
I'm supposed to like that guy because Bobby sucks.
Bobby isn't. Like he kind of
sucks.
Yeah,
he's antagonistic for no good reason, and I don't know. But we'll get to these lousy characters. I also made a note of that Eli Roth has a problem with characters for sure in dialogue, because he specializes in what I like to think of as like frat boy horror.
Right.
Frat boy horror. There we go. Where it's just sort of like. It's like dumb people dialogue.
Yeah.
And dumb characters.
And dialogue that doesn't drive a plot.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. You know what I mean?
It's like it's a guy who thinks that he's like writing like quotable dialogue, but it's dialogue that ultimately nobody remembers.
Yeah.
Because it's like I feel like he's just trying too hard. There's a couple of lines in here where Carl and I were laughing about it before, the Waffle House level cringe line, and I'm like, he's like, that's gonna take off. That's gonna be a thing.
That line?
It's gonna be Rosebud and Waffle House level cringe.
Isn't there like a death scene where he's like, "Fuck, this is fucking shit"?
I feel like that line's brought up more than a few times.
Yeah.
That's 30% of the dialogue.
But all right, let's get into the breakdown of this movie. So the film starts out on Thanksgiving, and we meet Patrick Dempsey, aka McDreamy, aka Sheriff Eric, and he shows up to eat dinner with Mitch, Tom, and the family. The one guy, Mitch, is getting ready to head to the store, and we find out that Tom is the owner of the store called Right Mart, and they're opening early.
That guy would have been a good sheriff in a movie.
Wait.
The guy that plays Mitch.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
I don't pay that close attention to like aesthetics, but they were on the float, and the float was spelled RIGHT, and then the store was spelled WRIGHT, and that really messed me up. It was silly, but it like I want things to be accurate.
Right.
Are you saying that Eli Roth is a inconsistent filmmaker?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You've heard it here from America.
God.
Carl Mills and his hot takes.
Jesus, man. So so we get to see that the one guy, Mitch, he's getting ready. He's going to the store, and they're opening early because normally it used to be midnight for Black Friday deals, but now they are opening earlier and earlier. And we cut over to the store, Right Mart, and the crowds are really getting riled up as they wait for the store to open because they have a special deal.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to take this from you.
A waffle maker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that like JCPenney's used to give out snow globes, and I hit a bitch.
For a snow globe?
Yeah.
She was 87 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no. Jeez.
Yeah, there's that's something that I think Eli Roth thought was going to be a lot funnier than it was.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, I want to get a waffle maker, and I'm like, pause for laughter.
Yeah.
And then in my theater, I just heard like someone taking photos of themselves.
You heard this.
It's a leaky, like a theater leaking into a bucket type of thing. Yeah, that's not funny. And I also like the reference to Tickle Me Elmo, which nobody in that theater probably remembered.
Exactly.
Which is fine if you're making a period piece, but
right. It's not. It's only a year ago.
For people who don't know this, in the late 90s, there was this craze during the Christmas season where everybody wanted to get a Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah, and then even the Power Rangers, when they first came out, those were insane.
Hey, there's a video that you can see on YouTube. Somebody gets a Tickle Me Elmo and they light it on fire. And because it's activated, it's just like laughing while it burns to death. And it's pretty awesome. If anyone's listening to this right now, look it up. And then you can thank me.
Horrifying.
You could write a review for the show and just thank me. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to die.
Tickle me.
I don't want to be tickled anymore.
So we meet Jess and Bobby. Now, Jess is the daughter of the owner of Right Mart, Tom. So Jess is the daughter of Tom, and Bobby is her boyfriend, and they discuss her new stepmom, Kathleen.
Because this movie, like most horror movies around this time, you know what? I'm so sorry, not around this time. Because this movie feels like a certain movie
This
made
came
during
out
a certain
last
era.
year.
Yeah. There's a certain era of film where every single lead was battling the death of a mother.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
that
that
is
was
such a common
definitely-
trope in horror films from like a certain late 90s, early 2000s. It's a real big thing.
Yeah.
Even like in
do you
Freddy
think it
vs.
started
Jason.
with Scream?
I'm gonna say they all wanted Sidney
That
Prescott
Scream.
character.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like these movies where they do it wrong is that it's sort of like my mom's dead, and it's just sort of like a little thing that they add.
Right.
But like in Scream, there's like they use it for the story.
Yeah.
Like her mom's dead, but it's not just sort of like, oh, this is why I'm like closed off or something like that. It's literally part of the fucking plot.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
just like, my mom's dead, and you're like, okay.
R.I.P. Mom.
Yeah, and now my dad remarried. Isn't that she's such a bitch and I hate her? That's the plot.
Yeah.
I mean the use of
And
the dead mother.
Jess is also very much against her father succeeding.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you're opening your store, Dad? I'm like, yeah, he's got to fucking pay for this house.
Yeah.
Spoiled kid. Anyway.
So they meet up with their friends, and they're all winners.
Oh, yeah.
I think this movie literally has zero likable characters that we talked about.
Has
before.
frat boys. Like frat boys.
Frat boys.
There
Yeah.
is that turkey, though, that inflatable turkey.
Yes.
Great character.
Dude.
Great character.
Great character. I was confused though because after it blew up, spoiler alert, it blows up. They carried it out and it was like broken, but it was like it wasn't burned.
Yeah.
Carl, are you implying that Eli Roth is an inconsistent filmmaker?
Again?
It was
Sorry.
deflated. It wasn't on
it was-
fire.
yeah.
You would think something that was inflatable and made of plastic would have been like the first thing to burn up. Nope, it just deflated.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, that thing should have went right up.
Yeah, that
It was
thing-
like filled with, apparently filled with gas.
Okay, I have
Wasn't
one more
that the whole
thing,
thing?
too. I have one more thing. The
Yeah.
store that was kind of like generally like a Walmart. They had for sale for 59 cents. They had beach balls. I'm sorry, not beach balls. Blow up balls like the ones you take to the beach.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, beach balls. Yeah,
But they were blown up and for sale, and like who's buying that during November, like after Thanksgiving?
yeah.
And where will you ever find something for 59 cents ever
Yeah.
again? Even
Exactly.
a cucumber costs more than that these days.
Damn it,
Oh,
that's
no.
so true. So they all the friends, they pull up to the store, and Evan, who's the driver, the most annoying of the friends, very unlikable.
So he's talking, and again,
Yeah.
in relation to Eli Roth, they say, you write what you know.
Right.
Woof.
Woof.
Yeah, I just feel like that's probably how that guy is, because all of his movies are the same with that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't hate Eli Roth. I like him as like an actor. Sometimes like
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards, I think he's like really
Donnie
solid in
Donowitz
that.
is like one of the best parts.
Yeah, he's like, and I do appreciate the fact that he genuinely seems to love horror. Like he's like a guy like who like loves
Right.
the genre, and I like him for that. It's just that like there's something about the way he writes his characters where none of them are likable. Like every one of his movies, you're just kind of like, fuck these people.
Yeah.
I think in Cabin Fever, like, I liked Ryder Strong's character, but just because I liked Ryder Strong in Boy Meets World, it was carryover sympathy.
Yeah.
I'm like, he can't get the virus. His dad just bailed on him again.
One guy is out there shooting squirrels, and I automatically was like,
fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
You
Freaking
know?
bastard.
Hey, R.I.P. Peanut.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Fucking world we live in. Anyway, let's move on.
When they get to the store, Bobby is actually, turns out, we find out he's very popular. He's a pitcher, and he's known as the Golden Arm. And people are like, yo, you're going to be playing for the Red Sox one day. He's like, thanks.
Nothing bad's going to happen tonight to prohibit that. Certainly not during Black Friday.
They're really setting this up.
It'd be a shame if something were to happen to that arm, but that's not going to happen tonight.
You're going to play for the Red Sox, man.
You're going to be playing like well into your 60s. You're so good.
Dude, that arm of yours. Oh, man.
I just took out insurance on this thing.
So, as he is getting surrounded by local
zombies,
fans, we see where Jess runs into Ryan.
Can we just for a second? The crowd.
Oh my god!
Like, what is happening in this movie?
I've never seen people riled up that over, waffle makers.
No,
of all things.
No, even just like the
bands. Like I don't remember anyone going that insane. You know what I mean?
It made me think of the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead movie.
Yeah,
like they were like more like zombies being held back.
Yeah,
and they push it down and they're busting through the glass and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know.
A little too much.
Hey, for the record, we covered a movie on Freakquels once called Krampus that had a Black Friday scene.
Oh yeah,
and it was
awesome.
infinitely better.
Yeah,
more stylistic.
And it was still like in the realm of what happens in this, but it just was like better.
Yeah, but what does happen in this movie is lots of fun.
Oh yeah,
like when we get to the sight gags, then it's like, oh okay, that was worth the journey.
Yeah. So we see where Jess runs into Ryan, and it's a guy who is like totally into her. He kind of looks like David Schwimmer, like a young David Schwimmer.
Yeah.
Even has like Ross isms in this. He's like, "Hey guys," and
when he was like, "Pivot."
Yeah, especially with the crowd. So Jess gets her friends into the store. She's like, "Come on, guys, let's go in," because her dad owns it, right? And the friends aren't like the best friends at this. It's not like she's like, let's get in and out, right? And they're like walking into the front of the store, and the one guy's like, yeah, look at me, I have an iPhone, and he's like, they're all like showing off all this stuff.
Fuck everybody who wants to be in here,
right? And the crowd.
No save the cat moment for any of these characters.
No, not at all.
They're like antagonizing these already very angry people.
Yeah, the crowd.
They're like the living embodiment of the internet.
Yeah, they're awful. They're so bad. So the crowd witnesses this, and like Jess and her friends inside, and they bum rush past security. One guard just takes off. He's like, "Oh, this," and he just runs away. Meanwhile, the one guy...
Did you ever see that South Park episode when they have all the people for like Black Friday and they're treating it like Game of Thrones?
No,
like watching the white wall, the wall.
Yeah,
you never saw that episode?
No, I have to watch it.
Dude, please watch it. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to explain my awesome reference. But go on.
So they bum rush past all the security, and they even knock down, Sheriff Eric or Derek, whatever his name is there. And it's Eric. So they knock him over. Then, like, the one security guard is, like, trying to hold his own. And everyone's, like, pushing up against the glass to the point where it starts cracking. And then the door just comes down on top of this guard. And no one has any remorse for this guard. No one's like, whoa, guys. There's a person under here. They're just like... Fuck this, I gotta get that waffle maker.
It's almost like their reaction is if like there was a big giant fire outside coming at them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it doesn't track from like a logical standpoint.
Not at all.
Because it's almost like if you knock down, for me personally, if I ever like broke something minor in a store, I'd be like, oh fuck.
Oh shit.
These people just are like, hey, I'm gonna destroy all the property in here, and they're still gonna sell stuff to me.
And what's even funnier is, so as they're all rushing in, there's one guy who like accidentally brushes his neck up against a piece of glass,
Which is awesome.
and he's just like, ah, right, and you're like, oh, he's probably dead, right? And then you don't see him for a little bit, and then you finally do see him, and he gets to the waffle maker, and he dies with the waffle maker in his hands.
Although I guess like for his character, there was like a backstory where that's actually how he said he wanted to go.
That's how he wants to
He
go.
wanted to be clutching a waffle maker and a beach ball for 59 cents.
And then Bobby, the arm, spots the guy under the door, right? The security guard. He goes, oh, I better go help him out. And as soon as he goes, he gets knocked over and breaks his arm immediately. The golden arm just crumbles under pressure.
It's more like, yeah, I'm going to say it's more like balsa wood arm.
I mean, yeah, it just like breaks easily. It's like a twig. It's just like...
Yeah,
And,
not that great of an arm, Bobby.
And then we see Gina Gershon, who was there. She was just bringing dinner for Mitch, right? And she gets knocked over by the waitress with the cart, right? And the cart, she like hits her so hard, she falls to the ground and then gets hit in the head with the cart. And another person, like, they get locked up, like these two carts, and her hair gets tangled to like one of the cart wheels, and or one of the wheels of the cart, and they pull it out and basically just scalp Gina Gershon, and she lies there just bleeding out of her head. And we see she gets killed in the madness, and you just see, you know, like all these other people are just running wild. And Evan, the most likable character, he is
I've
like,
already forgotten who you're talking about.
he's the guy that got in a fight with one of the guys from Hanover or whatever they said.
Oh, the Ashton Kutcher stand-in.
Yeah.
Who doesn't look like Ashton Kutcher, but it kind of just reminds me of like a shittier Michael Kelso.
Yeah. He is standing up on one of the counters just recording everything from his phone.
No sympathy.
No sympathy, nothing. He's just like, holy shit, look at this. And at one point, like, he's like kicking people in the face because like his girlfriend's like, oh, and he's like, get the fuck out of here. And he like is kicking people in the face, like, and I'm like, why are these people even like touching this guy on the register anyways? You know what I mean? It was I don't know. This whole thing played out really
Nothing
weird.
makes any sense.
Yeah.
Although there is one really, really funny cut. I love when it like just cuts to the security footage.
Yeah.
And you just hear like the light Christmas music, and
Yeah.
everyone's just like killing each other.
Yeah.
That was a good call.
So you get the opening credits, and we flash to 1 year later.
Oh, is this movie called Black Friday?
No, it's called Thanksgiving.
Oh, because it seems more like a Black Friday movie.
However, they're showing that their sales go on, like everything goes on sale, essentially on Thanksgiving.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
But the plot is more to do with.
I mean,
Black Friday.
Thankfully, Black Friday isn't a thing anymore. Like
I know everyone
don't
just
think
stays home.
Yeah.
It's like Cyber Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone is like cashing in on Cyber Monday now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
still go to stores, not even just on Black Friday, but just regular days, and I push people over and take the things.
Get there 3 o'clock in the morning, wait till it opens.
Yeah, even if there's like so many of those things that I want, I still just take them from people.
Good.
Yeah.
You take their carts and everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like a 95-year-old woman goes down just as easy as you think.
Well, I used to be like, I used to go because of all the physical media stuff that would be on sale, like movies and music and
Yeah.
stuff. Now they don't even bother putting that stuff out anymore, and it's just like, well, I have no reason to go. You know?
Yeah, I even like back in the day, like when Black Friday was a real thing, I don't think I've ever participated.
Yeah.
Because I would hear things on the news where they're like there'd be some video game system and everyone's like losing their mind. I'm like, I don't think I want to be involved with that. I'll just wait till they stock up again.
Yeah. I worked at FYE, right? And so we would have music and movies and stuff. And so I would be like, okay, well, I want to definitely get this and this. And I could, like, I always worked on Black Friday. So I would just like take like a couple things that I just wanted anyways and put it aside and then buy it later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, you know, But whatever.
I think you should have been fired for that. But
Yeah.
did you ever see that video? I think
It was never anything people wanted.
Yeah, you should be fired.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that video? I think it was like an Xbox. It was one of the Xbox when it was coming out. And these people were like waiting in line for like days, and these guys, they put their money together and they bought one, and then they went outside and they just smashed it in front of everybody. And like, I know you're listening to this right now, people at home, and you're just like, wow, what an asshole. But that is so fucking awesome.
I love it. Yeah.
There's something
I'm about it.
It's like anarchy or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, this means nothing.
I'm an anarchist deep down.
Yeah,
and
like
so,
like I love seeing shit like that where I'm just like, you waited in line for like 6 days to buy this thing, and then they're just like, we bought it, and this is how little it matters to us. It's just a piece of shit. I don't know. I saw that, and I know some people are like, those fucking kids are assholes. I'm like, brilliant bastards is what they should have been called. But go on.
Yeah. We open on the killer, John Carver, and he's watching Evan's video at first. And then he like turns his attention to the TV, and he's watching a news program kind of run like an anniversary special about like the tragedy that happened at Right Mart. And it's like, oh yeah, this, happened a year ago, and we're celebrating the year tragedy of this. And we kind of get some news that Bobby got a career-ending injury. At one point, they're like, yeah, they don't even focus on the people that died. They're like, oh, yeah, this one guy got a career-ending injury.
The student at a high school.
R.I.P. Bobby.
And like, Bobby hasn't been seen in a year. I'm like,
why would you add that detail?
Why was that?
Is this like Access Hollywood?
Was like the news reporter close with this? Like, Bobby? I don't know.
It's a lot of very like personal details for like people that I guess like they're talking about because they're like in the main cast.
Right.
Well, they're bringing it up simply because they want him to remain a suspect because he's so mad about losing his arm during sports season that he should be so pissed that he's going to want to kill everyone.
It's like, so it's immediately you're like, oh, he wants revenge.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. By the way, the title for this movie should have been I Know You Did Last Black Friday.
Yeah.
Because I Know You Did Last Summer, and it's more of a Black Friday movie than a Thanksgiving movie.
And let's just be honest, Bobby is pretty much Ray in this.
I got a letter.
She gets her hair chopped off. I get hit by a car, and she gets a dead body in the car, and you get a letter. How's that fucking balanced?
That's fucking balanced.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ryan Philippe? Is that his name?
Yeah, Ryan Philippe.
So good in that movie.
Yeah, Barry.
Just being like, because that character could very easily just not be likable at all.
Yeah.
Because he's just mad all the time, but you still kind of like him.
Yeah, he's
Don't
great.
they say at one point R.I.P. the victims?
I think so. Yeah, and then, well, before they even do that, right? They're like, R.I.P. the victims. They're like, oh, also, Tom Wright, who owns the store, they're thriving. They started like a new thing, like a couple new things in the community, but they are thriving right now, doing better than ever. And I was like, oh yeah, because I'm sure all the victims that like suffered that day are like, I'm glad they're doing okay.
I wish they were like stock for waffle irons is way up.
Way up.
We've sold more beach balls.
More beach balls than ever before.
Hey, so what's funny? I'm looking at my notes right now, and it says, "I wish these characters didn't suck."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's a note that I wrote, and they do,
and they just get worse.
Yeah, they never get better.
Yeah, you know what? Sheriff Eric isn't a bad character. Like, I feel like is
Patrick Dempsey?
Yeah, I feel like he's like likable no matter what.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I feel like he
sold the movie to me. Like, if it weren't for him, I'm like, okay, Patrick Dempsey, like, he's a credible actor,
right? Yeah. Like, he's really good in this. And he actually puts on like a New England accent and everything, and he like no one else does it in the movie except for him.
I do like when some of the people try to do it.
Yeah,
and it's like really like
the guy from Hanover or whatever.
I saw you at the harbor.
Yeah. Hey, that's the guy that punched me in the face.
How you like them apples?
I want to get him.
How you like them apples? So Sheriff Eric goes to the diner to meet his new deputy. and we get a little history. Like the deputy shows up, and we get a little history about John Carver being like one of the founders in Plymouth, and his mask is going to be seen all around town that day because all the kids are going to be wearing the mask because, yeah, that's what we do.
Because the movie says so.
Right, yeah. So Evan and Jess in Friends are talking about getting tagged in the massacre footage. They're like, whoa, I just got tagged on Instagram about that massacre footage.
Whoa.
What the hell, man?
Bro.
These kids are okay. I'm just gonna put this out there. These kids are worse than the kids from River's Edge, where they literally
Good pull.
they and River's Edge for those that don't know, right? Keanu Reeves is in it.
Oh yeah. And Crispin Glover.
Yeah, and
Maybe
Daniel
his best
Roebuck.
performance.
Yeah, Kristen Glover is like phenomenal. So those kids, like, their friend kills a girl. And then he's like, yo, come check it out. I killed this girl. And they have no fucking remorse at all. Those characters are more likable than any of the characters in this.
Yeah, these kids are just like, you kind of want to see them die.
Yeah. Like River's Edge, you're like, oh, man, I like Crispin Glover. And he's just making bad choices, you know? Same with, like, Keanu Reeves.
Those kids felt, in River's Edge anyways, they felt more like real to me.
Exactly.
These just feel like badly written characters.
Yeah, these characters are just
And
bad.
generally in my notes, whenever I use the word characters, it's got the quotations around it.
Quotations.
Quote unquote characters.
So Tom Wright finds out he's about to shoot a commercial with his family, and he's pissed because the historical site that they were going to shoot got trashed, and the axe that was up on the mantle is now missing. I wonder if that's setting up something.
I don't think it's going to come back.
And then we see where Ryan and his roommate are discussing Ryan's plans. Ryan's the guy, David Schwimmer guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Jessica, things are going good between us now. We're dating ever since Bobby left.
He comes off like a nice guy.
He's awesome.
But I get the sense that I'm not supposed to like him.
Right.
But he's just like, yeah, she invited me to see the family.
And I'm going to do, like, the parade. And you're, like, rooting for this guy.
I'm
It's
like, why
I'm
is
invited
this...
to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Why is
Coming
he
over
not
for
the lead?
Christmas?
Yeah, why isn't this guy the lead?
Instead, it's like, I feel like Eli Roth is wanting you to root for scumbag Bobby.
Right. And it's like, I
I feel like he's wanting you to then again, like, come up with one more suspect because things are going great for him, and you don't want to screw it up.
He's like, yeah, ever since Bobby the Arm left.
Ever since Bobby's golden arm left.
Ever since that guy took off. So at the diner, Jess and her friends all get tagged in a new... Oh, well, I'm so sorry. At the diner, Jess and her friends all get tagged on Instagram, and it says the table is set, and they discuss Ryan, her boyfriend, and none of the friends like Ryan. They're like, oh, he's sucks.
Boring.
He looks like David Schwimmer. Pretty sure he wants to be like some kind of like... He probably wants to work in a fucking museum. And Ryan kind of reminds me of Ross in a lot of ways. And he shows up and he's like, guys, I got tickets. 50-yard goal line. And
Money. He calls for money.
Yeah. And he's like, I got us all tickets. And we're like, oh, cool.
Now we like you because you gave us stuff.
Yeah. And I'm just like, God, like, this guy is awesome. I don't know why we're supposed to hate this guy at all.
Even his acting is like so much better.
Yeah.
There's like little choices that he makes. I have some notes on it later, but I actually think he should be in more stuff.
Yeah. No, I think out of all the kids in this movie, he's definitely the best actor.
Second to the turkey.
He's second to the turkey. Besides Jacob, who's not in this movie enough. And Jacob's in for, you guys. He's the nerdy kid that comes into the diner at one point, and he's promoting the party at McCarty's.
Party at McCarty.
And that's when Evan's like, hey, you better have my homework done. And he's like, I will, fucking asshole. And I was like, I'm rooting for that kid. Like, why do you think I want Evan to live?
Well, if he's a likable character...
Right.
That's the last you'll see of him. He's going to have very minimal screen time. We got to make room for all these unlikable jerks.
So at the killer's lair, we see him sharpening his axe, and he's watching the store footage, and we see that he like has.
Was it weird that he put
paused.
a laugh track on the footage?
Yeah.
Is that weird? He was like trying
Benny
things.
Hill music.
Yeah, he's just
like
like-
editing it.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Maybe I could do something with this footage.
Can you take? No, that's not very good.
Can I make a music video out of this?
So he pauses it on the waitress who works at the diner, and because she is making this like vicious face, and this is right after she kind of helps kill Gina Gershon.
She's got a great look to her.
Yeah,
She's like a really fun character.
she looks authentic.
Yeah.
Like I
She's just like, what do your
think a
shits
lot
want
of-
for dinner?
yeah, a lot of movies anymore just are like Calvin Klein, like supermodel.
Yeah, the
actors.
CW faces.
Right, and a lot of movies do that. They don't really go for like, oh, this like
Authenticity.
yeah, like and so with
talking
her,
about
I
the-
feel like she really fit in.
Talking about like before about the original Rocky.
Yeah.
Like that movie is just riddled with like the most authentic looking people.
Absolutely,
And it makes you feel more immersed in the film.
100%. That's how I feel like before I was talking about the Sean Baker films.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm looking for the best looking people and putting them in my movie. He's like looking for like the real looking,
Yeah.
like this person would exist in this world.
Yeah. They're like
Yeah.
they're attractive if you squint.
yeah, yeah.
Also, you know, it's another really weird example of like a really well casted film in the horror genre. I always liked the look of the people in the fourth Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
Me too.
just looks like they would live in a small town like that. You know?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody listening to this horror podcast would like a movie called Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. But,
It's pretty good.
yeah.
I like it.
maybe we'll cover that someday.
One day. So we see where that night at the diner, the waitress who helped in the chaos, the Carver shows up. John Carver shows up, and he chases her. And at one point, he like puts her face on the freezer, and her cheek gets stuck to it. And
Kind of fun.
yeah, it's a fun
Yeah,
gag.
that was my favorite kill.
Yeah.
Like, it was
And then she runs outside.
Wait. Before she runs outside,
Yeah.
she tries to use her phone, but the face recognition doesn't
it
recognize
doesn't
her anymore
work.
because her face is fucked up.
And it's all bloody, so she can't like scroll.
Because her face gets like torn off when she detaches it from the freezer.
Yeah,
And I thought that was a good joke.
I would love that. And then she runs outside, and then we see the Carver or John Carver is behind the vehicle, and she runs away, and she runs like towards this dumpster, and he just like hits her.
Yeah.
And the dumpster closes and cuts her in half.
Yeah, that was really silly. Like,
Because there's no dumpster
I know.
lid
Yeah.
that would ever be able to do that.
Not even that one that Julius's head landed in.
Nope. Not
That's
even
a deep cut for you
that's-
horror fans.
No, you gotta take Manhattan for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like she runs and we see like her lower body kind of fall to the ground. Her top half is like in the dumpster. I'm like, there's no fucking lid that could do that, but
Yeah.
that was still a cool
Fun
looking
sight
kill.
gag.
Yeah,
That's the kind of stuff I talk about sometimes where like I don't get too hung up on logic if the execution's fun, pardon the pun.
right.
Because it's just like a goofy little scene and you're like, but I remember in the theater when people weren't like taking selfies.
Yeah,
You know, like that scene happened and people were like clapping and stuff because it was just
it was fun.
a creative little kill. That's where Eli Roth does a good job. In this movie, whenever John Carver shows up and you're getting like your murder plot stuff, I could just
Yeah.
feel like that's like where his heart is because
Yes.
it's like it's all done really well. It's when he has to inject a story into this like hour and 40-minute long movie that it all kind of feels like a bit of a slog.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
like, fuck that shit, man. Fuck it.
fuck
Yeah.
that shit,
Yeah,
man. Fuck it.
There's dialogue in it that says, where'd you go? I had it written down. What the fuck? Fuck you!
Yeah.
It's because there's like a part where I think in a parking lot, these two people almost crash into each other.
Yeah.
And that's a dialogue. What the fuck? Fuck you!
Yeah, that was the new deputy.
Yeah.
when he's showing up. Yeah,
And I'm like, wow, that's some wordplay.
yeah.
You hear that, Oscar Wilde?
That was a conversation. That was had. So we see where John Carver, he leaves the lower half of the body on the right mark sign. And it looks really funny because it's just like, it looks like a Halloween. You know how like when they stuff like a body and they put it on their porch?
Yeah.
It looks like the lower half is just like sitting on
It's
there.
50% off.
Good.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that would have been a really good one-liner.
Yeah, fuck. That's
That's John
good.
Carver. Why didn't he say that?
Yeah. What? Oh, that's so
You're
good.
half off.
Half off.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
How about this for half off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, the right was with the W, and in Parade it wasn't.
So the next day, Jacob, coolest and maybe, you know, like most likable character, he brings dumbass Evan his essay that he wrote for him, and he's like, oh, all right, you owe me $20. He's like, you know what, man? I'm gonna get you next time. It better be good or I'm gonna fucking kill you, right? And he's like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever, asshole, right? And he like walks away, and I'm like, why isn't Jacob in this movie more?
Here's my complaint. I think the movie, maybe before it flashed forward to like a year later, I think you should have had that kid be a little scared of him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it just
Right.
sort of seems like his relationship to him doesn't make any sense.
No.
Because he's like, you better write my fucking essay. And he's like, uh-huh. But I feel like maybe before that we got the time jump, they should have showed him like treating him like shit a little bit, and then something happens where he's like, oh, I'm gonna start standing up for myself or something. But
Yeah.
it's just like a weirdly, it's like an injected character with no
Yeah.
purpose. There's no purpose to that character, but he is likable.
Right.
But
He's
do
super
something
likable.
with him rather than like nothing.
And then we see where Evan gets a text and discovers that him and his pals were tagged again, but this time with the crime scene at the right store of the lower half of
and
the
the
body.
words, I know you did last summer are written.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I know you did last Black
R.I.P.
Friday.
the victims.
Yeah. R.I.P. the victims. So Jess calls her dad, who is still keeping the store open even after the crime. And outside they meet McCarty. And to describe McCarty, he's kind of like the dazed and confused Matthew McConaughey of Plymouth. He's like, all right. Looks like you guys might need some guns. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, what are you doing?
older and they stay the same age.
You guys need those bullets.
You know what's weird? Because again, I just have questions about Eli Roth. This character ultimately becomes the likable guy.
Yeah,
and
again,
he is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
but he is likable by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Eli Roth is a mystery to me.
I don't get it. But this character, he's the only other one that is doing a reasonable accent of like
He's good.
Northeast accent, right?
He's a
Like,
fun character.
Yeah. Our New England accent. And so him and Patrick Dempsey are the only ones that are like really pulling off the accent. No one else. Jess, who has lived there her
Gets
life.
to do it.
Yeah, she doesn't do it at all. Her father doesn't even.
She's like,
attempt to do
hello,
it.
mate.
Yeah. Hello, Roy.
Wait, at one point,
Hello,
Good
Bobby.
boy.
at one point, one guy shoots off
Ew.
his gun,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
he says it's just filled with gunpowder,
Yeah.
and like where is Patrick Dempsey to give him a ticket?
Right. He doesn't. He's
Yeah.
just like, oh,
Yeah.
McCarty. Matthew McCarty. So, anyways, Jess and her dad kind of argue a little bit more. And at the station, the sheriff assures Jeff that she'll be okay. Or Jess, I mean, that she'll be okay. And when she leaves, she comes across her ex Bobby, who's just waiting outside with his tow truck.
Is that when he has like his arms crossed and he's just like leaning against it?
Yeah.
So like he totally was waiting outside for like 20 minutes for her to
Yeah.
come out.
He's
So
like,
he
I
was
waited
I'm
here
gonna
a whole year.
look- I'm looking real cool when she comes out.
I'm going to cross my arms so she knows I'm okay now.
Yeah,
So,
I'm Ray from I know you did last summer.
yeah, he's like, I should wear a muscle tee so she could see I'm Cas free now. So, who explains? Bobby's like, okay, I'm sorry I took off. I was depressed. I was pissed at you a little bit because you took me to the store. I should have just stayed home, stayed back. And he's like, I'm sorry I ghosted you, right? And then
Okay.
she's like, okay, but let me tell you this. My stepmom deleted all the store footage. She goes from like, where did you go? And then she's like, okay, listen, my stepmother Kathleen deleted all the store footage, and I'm pretty sure she has a copy of it at home on her computer. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna need you to be the lookout. And he's just like, where the fuck is all this coming from? No, he didn't say that. He's just like, okay.
So, slight alteration to the script.
Yeah.
How I feel about this. You know how she sees him at the diner?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe he should have been, like, walking in to pick up food, and then you have the awkward interaction between them.
Yes.
So that you don't just blow past it and it feels unnatural.
Yeah.
Like, he goes in to pick it up, and then he turns around, she's sitting there, and it's just like, oh, Bobby, when did you get back into town?
I've been
Who
here
wrote
the whole
this? Eli
time.
Roth?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like that was like they brushed past that real quick.
Yeah.
Like I would just be like, "You're a real piece of shit."
Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, as soon as he apologizes, right, she just goes right into, like, a conspiracy theory. Like, listen, you know, like, and he's just like, okay. Like, he doesn't have any kind of, like, say, right? Like, he's not like, what are you talking about? Like, she just assumes, like, he already knows everything.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, okay, I'll go with it. You know what I mean? But I was like, she didn't even tell him, like, what's going on. Anyways, it was a weird thing. And then when they get back, he's like, oh, here comes Ryan. I'll get rid of him for you. And then he's like, hey, babe, what's up? He's like, what? I didn't date you for a year and you moved on with Ryan, you know? And it's like, yeah, man, you were around for like a year. But he just looks so shocked that she like moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, making Bobby very unlikable.
Yeah.
And then his acting too is like real good for Ryan. That's his name.
Oh,
right?
yeah, Ryan. Yeah.
There's a line where he says something like the town or something didn't have much to offer, but like when he's using the line, he like does this thing to Bobby where he like scans his body, being like, "Oh, it didn't have much to offer," and then he kind of just brushes past it, so it takes on like two meanings. And I'm like,
Right.
but it's so quick and natural.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that was really good acting.
That's really good acting. I feel like the guy who plays Ryan, I don't know his real name, but he's
David
definitely
Schwimmer.
like David Schwimmer Jr. He is definitely a standout in this movie.
Yeah.
As far as the kids go. We then cut to the security guard that let shit go, right? Like last year. And he's in his apartment
It's
with
like
his
Tim
cat.
Dillon, isn't it?
Yeah, he's with his cat, Dewey. And he's getting ready to leave town, and he like is like packing up his stuff. But luckily, John Carver shows up. And we see where he like has like the electric carver, and he sticks it into his stomach, and then eventually he decapitates him. But I have to say, I really like at one point he's like about to leave, like walk out, and then he walks back, and you're like, oh no, he's gonna hurt the cat. And then he like pours food
Yeah.
into the bowl. I'm like, this John Carver is not a bad guy.
He immediately becomes the most likable character.
Yeah.
I also like that exchange. There's a part where Tim Dillon is talking to his cat, and he's like, "Is someone else in the house?" And the cat just kind of like nods to the side.
Yeah.
The cat's like, "Yeah, he's in here with me."
Yeah, he's over here, man.
He's that cat's a really good actor, and
Yeah.
he's actually also somebody that you can meet through Kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue.
Yeah.
You can look them up on Facebook, and you can be involved with helping cats. And he signs autographs. I've met him.
And he's pretty cool.
He is.
Yeah.
He's actually one of those like cat child actors.
Is he Garfield's understudy?
No. He said he never met Garfield.
Oh, okay.
But he had a very hard time as a kitten actor, going up through the industry. There's a lot of like people that like kitty porn and stuff like that. But he avoided all of the bad stuff, and he grew up to be a really fine actor, because in Thanksgiving, the breakout performance of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And
Dewey steals it.
He does, and I really loved the fact that John Carver did not kill the cat, and that he fed him.
Yeah.
And I'm
I do like that he like took the time to like pour food into
Yeah,
his bowl.
he didn't
I
have
was
to do that.
He didn't have to do that. And I'm like, I like John Carver.
I wish the cat went, "Thank you."
Yeah. Meow.
Meow.
Oh, that would
No, he says meow, and then there's like a little subtitle underneath it.
It says thanks.
Thank you.
So Jess gets another tag through Instagram, and the pic this time is of the dead guard's head in the top half of the waitress, and they're seated at the table. And then Jess chats with her dad, and this is when he apologizes to her about just being really brash lately, maybe jumping the gun. He didn't really take the time to be like, oh, I'm seeing Kathleen, you know what I mean? And so he's like apologizing to Jess, and I'm like, you don't have to, man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he didn't
Why are you apologizing for trying to move on with your life?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just weird.
There's also no like real reason for that to happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not like sitting there like at dinner like, oh, I think there's a distance growing between me and Jess.
Yeah.
And then like the new wife, give her some humanity, and she's just kind of like, well, maybe because, you know, a lot of this happened really fast. Maybe you should go talk to her. And
right.
You guys can figure some shit out. But instead he's just kind of like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. And I'm like
what?
So then we get where Jess is like looking at the security footage, and she notices that Ryan and his college buddy go up to the one guard and like kind of do like a, you know,
dapping him up.
They dap up. And and she
What?
like, yeah, they do like that special dap handshake.
But like, why is she surprised to see him there when she already saw him there?
Exactly. And then he's just like shaking the hand of a security guard, and then also she's like, this is like some profound shit, right? Like, she's like, this is it. This is the stuff I'm looking for. So she pauses it, and then she prints out a picture of Ryan.
It.
Yeah, she like screenshots it.
I've got proof that you were there.
Yeah.
And everyone saw you there anyways.
She doesn't bring it up to him. Not till
That's
later.
right.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever print like a web page? Because like you print like
Certain ones
5
I
million-
won't bring up.
You print like when you go to print a web page. I remember like it was like 500 pages
For like one image.
Yeah, for one image.
For one image, and we're like, and then you're like, oh, I just needed the one image. What happened? So true. So then she hops in with Bobby, like into his tow truck, to head down to the sheriff's. Meanwhile, Ryan is like parked from afar, and he spots like Bobby in the tow truck, and you can see he's like a little like perturbed, and it's like, yeah, you know, like that's her ex at the house without like really giving him, you know, like hey, my ex is coming over, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's awkward, it's weird, and I can see why he's like, maybe something's going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, I just feel like Eli Roth didn't think the audience would see it that way, because again, I think he wants you to want them together,
Right?
like she and Bobby. But
And
I'm
you're
like,
like,
Bobby
no.
sucks.
Bobby's not like great at all. So then at school, Evan gets up to read his essay that Jacob wrote for him, right? And I do like the kid that goes before him. This is probably like it was just like a quick funny gag. He's like, and that's why I could never celebrate the holiday anymore. And he, like, the girl's like, oh, it's okay. And he like lifts up his shirt, and then he's like ripped, and you could tell why the girls were like so sympathetic to him.
That's the part of the movie that made me laugh the hardest.
Yeah,
because
me
he's
too.
just like that. One of those kids.
Yeah, and
I believe in stuff.
I believe in stuff. And then we see where
phony
Evan
asshole
goes.
Kids.
Yeah. And then Evan goes, and he's reading the essay that Jacob wrote for him. And as soon as he finishes it, I love that the teacher goes, wow, that was really good. I'm glad I wrote that blog, like a year ago. And he goes, wait, what? And then he looks over at Jacob, and he's like, yeah, gotcha.
So I have a observation.
Yeah.
He reads like 3 lines.
Yeah, his whole essay.
It's like a
It's
paragraph.
like, it's not even a
I
paragraph.
know, he's just like,
It's like 3 sentences.
but it's in like this
Once upon a time, there was these
Actually, the teacher writes like fan fiction.
yeah, and you're just like, that's the whole essay. Like, he couldn't do that on his own. You know what I mean?
and she's it's literally the quickest essay ever.
Yeah, and And it's not like there's like a break and then it comes back. You know what I mean? Like to give it like a time lapse or whatever.
It's a throwaway.
Yeah, it's just like here's 3 lines from the essay, and now I'm done.
So it's almost like what they should do is maybe start or like have like an end a scene where he starts reading it.
Yeah.
You cut to some bullshit going on in the school, and you come back to him, and he's finishing it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right.
Instead of it just him reading like 3 lines.
3
Like,
lines,
that's
yeah.
the essay. God,
the
the
whole
standards
thing.
have gone down since I was in high school, and the standards weren't all that high back then.
So yeah, and then we see where Jess chats with her friends that Ryan was on the video talking to the guard. They go into
Oh my god,
they're like, oh, I knew something was up with him.
he's totally guilty. Like
He's
he
always-
knows people.
He's always trying to suck up to us, and we knew it.
Yeah.
you know?
He knows people outside the principal cast.
Yeah.
Oh, suspicious.
And then it does like a cut to Ryan, and I think it's like a fake out because he's like dressed in the pilgrim outfit.
Yeah.
And we see that he's just preparing for the parade, and he runs into Bobby, and Bobby's like, "Oh, you're gonna be on Jess's float?" And he's like, "Yeah, she her and her family asked me to be part of it." He's
I'm
like,
her boyfriend now.
Yeah, I'm her boyfriend now.
We've been
so
going out for 1 year.
yeah, once you took off, and he's just like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna be in the float too. I got my thing." And I'm gonna be in it. I'm like, wow, these guys are really getting into it.
This is really aggressive.
this is crazy.
I'm gonna be in the float better than you.
yeah.
It's just another one of those things where I'm like, I feel like I know you did last summer was like the template.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's a scene like that. Like
Oh,
when I think it's
yeah.
Helen. Is that her name? Sarah Michelle Gellar's character. She's like on a float and she's like looking around and she sees all those people
Yes.
wearing like the fisherman costumes, but
Oh,
they're not.
it's 100%
it's the same
taken
exact
from that.
scene.
Yeah. That's so funny you said that because I literally, as I was writing this, I'm like, this is like
Copy
Shot.
paste.
the same way,
Yeah.
like the same psych outs are like, John Carver walking among
Looking
the
over
crowd.
the corners, looking
Yeah.
over all the edges.
And then you see Barry like stopping a guy who's like dressed up like a fisherman. You know what I mean?
I like when he stops that guy and the guy's like,
Yeah. So, we cut over to Hanover, and the one guy who fought Evan, it's talked about really briefly. He was like, "Yeah, I fought him because he goes to a different school than I do."
which was actually a thing when I was in high
I
school.
guess so, but
We had opposing neighborhoods, I guess,
yeah,
areas, and it was
like the Jets and the Sharks. Yeah.
kind of like I'm not even kidding. In high school, they're like, oh, you can't talk to people from that high school. I'm like, I think I do. Am I gonna get beaten up?
When you're a jet, you're a jet all the way.
Krupski.
So,
Did you go to a musical high school?
I did. I went to one of those like Glee schools. It was cool.
oh, you went to the high school the musical?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I got to get all my feelings out.
From your first
melodically.
cigarette to your last dying day. So at Hanover, the one guy who fought Evan is going to hook up with his girlfriend, who's a cheerleader, and they go to the trampoline. And again, like this is a scene that was in the trailer, the original Grindhouse trailer.
And this entire sequence is there for the sake of that.
And you're like, oh, cool. Like, I've been waiting. I'm like, I know this scene. It stuck out because you're like, oh, how terrible, right? In a good way. Terrible,
Yeah.
like awesome.
Fun.
But they don't do it. They
Wimp
chicken
out.
out. Yeah, they kind of chicken out on it. And you see the Hanover guy, his neck breaks in the easiest way. He like literally gets his head turned all the way around.
Which is fun.
Yeah, which is fine. And then as the girl's jumping on the trampoline, we see, the knife stick up and it hits her in the foot. And then again, perfectly timed, hits her in the arm and eventually in the chest. Compared
Maybe
to
he practiced though. Like
Yeah,
how
he's-
do you practice that kill?
yeah, he just was going around trampolines. He's like, okay, I gotta wait.
I gotta try
wait.
this.
Poof, got it.
Got
Oh,
it. My
yeah.
timing is impeccable. I used to be a drummer. No, it's a weird sequence because like there is a moment where they like go towards the trampoline and there's a spotlight and
Yeah.
it's like right on the trampoline. It's saying to the audience, "This is that scene."
Yeah.
The focal point.
Right.
Yeah. And then what happens is they purposely don't give you what you're expecting. And I feel like that's a common thing in Hollywood now, where they're like, hey, we know you wanted this, but we're going to give you something much less remarkable.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, it's because you're stupid.
That, and it's like, oh, we still want to surprise the audience. It's like,
But if he
you
was
can
on
give
it-
the audience what they want, and it's still rewarding. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not going to be like, oh, we got what we want. I hate this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't know. Like,
I mean,
why
like,
do that?
do you really want to leave the theater feeling satisfied, EJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, oh, you do? Oh, that's how I go.
No.
Oh, by the way, this whole sequence has no other purpose for the
Nope.
rest of the movie.
No.
So if you're wondering if there is a seamless transition, the answer is no.
Nope.
No.
These guys, these two characters, we met one of them in the store scene.
And you'll forget about them as quick as you
Yeah.
saw
That's
them.
true.
Yeah. Totally pointless. It was just put in there because it was in the trailer, I guess.
It's almost like
I don't know.
he had other characters that you knew that you could have done that exact same thing
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, he kept
Why not?
around some duds for a while.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about
We'll
that.
talk about
soon.
them.
So, anyways, Jess and her friends find out the game was canceled because the guy died in Hanover. I guess that was like,
The only player on the team.
yeah. So while waiting for her friends,
Oh, I like how when the what's his name? The stupid boy,
Evan.
I like how he's just like, you can't cancel my game. Evan, where are you going? I'm going to go play my game. You can't play by yourself, stupid. I'm like, who wrote this?
Yeah. So Evan and his girlfriend, they go.
Gabby.
They go down the hallway, and so we see John Carver kind of show up, and he tranquilizes them, right, or
That's
whatever.
New. That's new.
Yeah. And so,
I like the old days when like someone just bash you over the head.
Yeah.
You wake up.
so
wake
as Jess is waiting, she gets a text. It's like, hey, come meet us. And so she's like, okay. So she walks down the hallway of the school, and it's like pretty much abandoned now. No one's in the school at this point. And that's another thing I have to touch on really quick. But then she comes across the Carver. There's this whole chase sequence. She eventually runs into like the beauty school room, and that was like a lot of fun because she's like, her head's like hiding among like the wigs and like mannequin heads and stuff.
Did
I
your
was
high
like,
school have a beauty school room?
no, but do you remember in the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer when Sarah Michelle
did the
Gellar?
scene happen?
Yeah, she hides among mannequins.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Hey, this movie is just like plagiarism.
Now that I think about it, this is kind of like plagiarism. But she ends up escaping, right? Like she runs out and she gets away. And the thing I thought about, I'm like, okay, so Bobby, I guess, would have been in college because obviously he's not in high school anymore, right?
Sure.
Because they would have seen him at school. Like you would still be required to go to school even if he did break his arm. You know what I mean?
Kicked him out
Yeah,
of school.
because he was all upset. He was like, I'm not going to be able to play. Like, I
Right.
graduate in a couple months from now.
Yeah, so and
They
then I
all
guess
failed.
Ryan is in college, but everybody else is still in high school. But like Evan and Scuba, that's a real name, by the way, for a character in this movie. Scuba, and,
Such a fratty name, isn't
and
it?
Evan, yeah, they look older than Ryan, and definitely look older than Bobby. Bobby looks, he's about like 5 foot. Long hair, right? Like, and you're like, he doesn't look over the age of 16, and he's supposed to be the one that's in college, I guess. I don't know. I was just like so confused.
Are you saying that Eli Roth is an inconsistent filmmaker?
Yeah, I think because he was like, oh yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer. They start off in high school and then they end up in college.
Yeah.
Kind of
You
weird.
know what they could have done too? They could have done like, oh, Scoob. Like,
Oh, school. Yeah.
Oh, Steve, goddamn you.
Sorry. So Jess, luckily, she gets away. And then we see where outside of the school, Bobby confronts Ryan about knowing the security guard. He's like, oh, we saw the footage, man. We all saw the footage. And you're there dapping up with the security guard. And he goes, what? And he's like, yeah, we saw the footage, man. We saw the video. We saw it. And he goes, what? Then I like shook his hand. I was buying Adderall from him. And
I like how forthcoming he is too. He's like, I was buying drugs.
I was buying drugs.
He's like very honest.
He's like, what do you mean, Adderall? And he's like,
yeah, that's what smart kids like me take so they can get into good colleges. And I'm like, man, that kid should be a lawyer.
should be a lawyer. So, anyways,
he's like, you break your arm and you drop out of high school.
Yeah,
I don't know. You're not making good choices, Bobby.
So at McCarty's, Jess and Scuba go to buy a weapon off them to protect themselves. They get a gun, and then McCarty's just like, hey, yeah, take it. Protect yourselves. And you're like, oh, so.
Oh wait, one quick thing.
Yeah.
Before we get to this part, I like right before they confront Ryan, they like leave the school, and Bobby puts a coat on Jess.
Oh yeah.
And then when Ryan comes over, he just very
pushes it off.
Yeah, but it's like so smooth.
Yeah.
Just,
Yo, that actor
really good acting.
is making all the right choices. The guy that plays Ryan is making all these like little subtle choices.
Really
and you're
good.
like, that's good. Yeah. Because he does. He goes to hug her, and you see he kind of pushes the coat off to like take her in.
I didn't even
subtle.
notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't notice that? No.
So I wrote that in my notes, and then right underneath it, I said Ryan is the best actor.
Yeah.
He's smooth.
He is smooth. Even on Adderall. So Scuba calls his girlfriend, and at one point, like the girlfriend, what's her name? Flora or something?
Oh yeah, it's Yulia.
Julia.
Julia Gulia. That's funny. Why is that funny?
So
That's a wedding singer reference.
So Scuba calls his girlfriend, and her father at one point was like, "Get in the car, we're going to Florida," right? So they go home and they're like packing their stuff, and
they're like not quite finished home.
Right, and then, yeah, it's like under construction, or is it like a kill
like
zone?
I feel like he's trouble.
I feel like he's Dexter, like the dad's
Yeah.
Dexter, because he had a whole kill room.
Yeah.
You can't have two murderers in this town.
Yeah. So he's like, "Get your stuff together. We're going to Florida." And I don't know what
Like
accent.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Get in the chopper.
Get in the chopper. So at her house, we see the Carver shows up, and we see that he tranquilizes the officer, which is kind of like a little tell, right? Because you see he shoots him, right? But it's not like a gunshot. It's like a, and you know it's a trank just from the way it sounds. And then the father, we're not really sure what happens with him. He might be tranquilized or he might be dead. It doesn't really clarify like what happened to the father.
Throw away.
Yeah. But we see where he takes like these two little things from the corn.
Like corn huskers.
Yeah, corn huskers.
I like that.
Yeah.
Or not.
And then when she's talking on the phone, he shows up behind her and he just like sticks them into her ears.
Julia.
Like Julia's
Julia.
ears. Julia. And then her friends are seeing this like through the video message, and they rush to her house, and Scuba and Jess, like, they run upstairs, and Julia is like
Coolio.
She's like, shoot him, just shoot him, right? And Scuba's like, I don't know, and then he goes to fire the gun, but the safety's on, and that's when the Carver is just like, oh, fuck this, and he pushes her onto a power saw, and she just gets like tore up, right? Her whole like
Inside
torso, yeah, it's just like, and then
I want an explanation for this house.
yeah, and so she like falls to the ground. Scuba like rushes to her. He's like, "What do I do, Jess? What do I do?"
I do like that moment.
Yeah, because he's just like trying to gather.
He's like a deer in the headlights. Like,
Yeah.
It's like the only moment in the movie that has any real humanity to it, because I'm like, you probably would feel like that. You're like, what do I do? Like,
Yeah.
I thought the actor did a really good job. He didn't
That was a good call.
He didn't do a good job when he was holding the gun on him.
No.
on the Carver because he just looks like not quite as panicked as one would be, but he just looks like he's going through the scene. But that moment, I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah. He did seem like really invested and cared about his girlfriend.
Hey, on McCarty's, just backtracking for a second, on McCarty's porch,
Yeah.
you catch that dinosaur?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty rad.
Maybe he'll get an emoji. Hold on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just write that down. So at Jess's house, her stepmother tells her the parade is still happening, but the store will be closed. Like the dad's like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna close the store. We're not gonna have it open, but we will still have the parade.
Death.
Yeah.
But we are going to have to move out of this house.
And so they hope
We
to
don't have
set.
enough money.
We don't have enough. So they hope to set a trap. So at the parade, Jess and her family get on the float and they carry on with the parade. And we have this moment where, you know, like it does feel like I know what you did last summer. A lot of similar shots.
Lifted, maybe.
Lifted. And
Maybe Eli Roth's like, that movie came out in like 1997. Maybe
no one's
nobody
gonna
remembers
remember.
it.
Yeah. No one liked it anyways.
I'll make a
Except
better
us.
version.
Yeah. So we see Mitch, right? And he has a John Carver mask. And he puts it on and he goes into the parade. And you're like, oh, I don't know if he's the killer. Because at one point I'm like, oh, Mitch might be the killer.
It's kind of like Scream.
Yeah.
Everyone puts the Scream mask on.
Yeah. Even though they're... Why would you do that? It's like Ben Tramer. Like, why are you rocking a Michael Myers mask? It's not a good
I like
idea,
when we were at
man.
the Halloween trivia and you got up and did the walk.
Oh... I do it pretty good.
You do a good job.
Tramer
Yeah.
block. Yeah.
I also like how you commit and you let that guy hit you with the car
Yeah.
and you blew up into flames. That was neat.
Yeah. I just went up in flames.
A lot of people at home don't know this, but EJ can actually burst into flames.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah, he's like our Johnny Storm.
Yeah. I just go, flame on. And then,
He's like the Tickle Me Elmo laughing as it burns.
it's so true.
But anyway.
So at the parade, Mitch actually interrupts with a bunch of other people because at first you're like, oh, is he the Carver baby? And then it just turns out he's there to protest. It's like instead of Thanksgiving, his sign says like sales taking or something. I don't know. It's really bad.
He actually thought he wrote Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
but he misspelled it.
Yeah, it was.
He's
I
not
don't
very
know.
smart in the town.
It's like Thanksgiving is crossed off and it's like take everything. Is that what it is? I forgot. I don't know. It's really bad.
I like that that's just like a sign he's used to protest over and over again. He just keeps crossing off the
Yeah.
causes.
He's like, I wasn't to Thanksgiving, not anymore.
He's like, I got that Occupy Wall Street movement.
Yeah,
It's crossed off.
I did see 99% on the other side.
He's like, yeah, you know, cardboard's real cheap.
It's like, whatever, get a beach ball. We'll use that. It's on sale. So as the protest breaks out, that's when we see John Carver, the killer, is actually in a clown costume.
He switched up.
He switches it up, and the Carver kills the mascot in one of the best decapitations of ever.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And so he takes the mascot
But
out.
we didn't see his head, though. His head was stuck in the costume.
Yeah.
We don't even know
And
what it
you just
looks
see like the blood spraying out of like the top of the costume.
That was a good kill.
It was really good. And then with all this chaos and like the death, right? We see one of the floats has like a ship mast on it, and it like the guy stops the truck really fast, so the mast of the ship goes through the back of the window through his face.
Wait, didn't that kill happen in Final Destination?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like a reverse of like Final Destination 2 with
Or
like
like
the
Scream
logs.
2.
Or Scream 2. Yeah. Yeah, Scream 2, that happens with one of the detectives. But
One that looks like Kevin Costner.
yeah.
Wasn't that a line in the
That's
movie?
the line. And so we see this mast like go through his face, and I thought it was a funny touch that his like two daughters were next to him, and they're like freaking out.
They're all just going to be traumatized.
Yeah. But it literally goes like right through his face. It was awesome. Then we see
Childhood trauma really is fun.
yeah. Always a good call. Good touch. Great job, Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Then we see the Carver kidnap Jess, and her
Dark.
family, and the friend Scuba, and
Scuba Steve.
I do have to touch on this. At one point in the sheriff's office, Scuba goes, "My real name is Diving, right?"
Scoob.
And the new deputy goes, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, Scuba's fucking better." It's a weird.
Again, it's literally
yeah.
Eli Roth being like, the audience is gonna stop taking photos of themselves
like,
for
"This
just
is
a
so
minute,
good."
and they're gonna laugh. They're gonna never stop talking about this.
They're gonna be like, "That's the line of the movie." So we cut over.
Scoob went on to an Academy Award.
For what? So we cut over to John Carver's place where he has Kathleen, and she's on a table and he's buttering her up. Right? He's like basting
He's
her.
dapping her up.
Yeah, dapping her up with some butter. And he steps away and he puts his mask on the oven, and then he picks it up and he goes, "Oh, it burned? Yeah, well, whatever. I'll put it
That's
back
funny.
on."
Ovens do that.
Yeah, that's weird
this
how
is
heat
this
works.
Industrial-sized oven generates heat. That's so weird.
Interesting.
Hey,
But he
and they
doesn't
might-
look at it like, "I can't believe that happened."
Or is it like hey, this looks cooler now?
Yeah, maybe. So we see the Carver picks up the mask, he puts it back on, and then he goes back
Carver's
out.
that has like low intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh, plastic melts.
Oh, gee. So then he goes back out and Kathleen's gone. And then we get this like cool sequence where she's like hiding, and there's a lot of tension that's being built up. And then she's like trying to make her way out of the house. Eventually she comes across a refrigerator with somebody's in there. Is it the cheerleader? I guess.
Who's still alive?
Yeah, someone who's still alive. They're bleeding. I guess it's a cheerleader. I have no idea.
I think it was a script supervisor.
Yeah, so the script supervisor's in the refrigerator. Line. So
I don't know where she is.
where's the pitchfork? You got to work on the continuity here. So as soon as they get upstairs, like the Carver gets in there, he notices like some blood, like footprints, right? So he's like, he sees it's under this table, so he has a pitchfork and he like is about to like look under the table, and then he stops and he makes it look like he like left the room, and behind the wall, you know, Kathleen's like hiding there, and eventually he like knocks her out. And while this is all happening, she tries to escape, and we see where she gets pitchforked and then cooked alive. And that seems like pretty insane because she, like, we see her in this pizza oven just getting cooked alive.
She's like Abby in Saw 2.
Yeah.
She's getting burned up.
Yeah, and you just see her like bubbling, and you know, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all the horror stuff with
It's good.
John Carver, like Eli Roth, you could just tell exactly what he wanted to be doing and what he didn't give a fuck about.
Yeah. So the police get the signal, and they race over to where they think the Carver is streaming, like John Carver. And they see, like, the setting of this table, and there's a couple dead bodies, like Kathleen's turkey body on the table, the headless security guard, the upper half of the waitress. And so they're like, "Oh, no, we know where the signal's going. Let's go. Let's get there," right? So all the police are trying to make their way to where the cell phone signal is. Meanwhile, Jess wakes up at the dinner table where her dad, her friend Gabby, Scuba, and Evan, they're all kind of still alive. And basically the Carver serves them the stepmother, Kathleen. He's like, "Let's thank her for cooking all day." And he has like
That's what he sounds like to me.
yeah.
I really like this thing. I don't know. It's like a weird
Yeah.
voice he's using.
It's weird. I wish they went with maybe like a
High pitched.
yeah,
The talk boy.
talk boy. Yeah.
Hey kids, we're home early.
Hey guys.
It's me, John Carver.
So good. So then, as
Dinner? You got it.
you got it. So then we see Evan die, which was kind of not sad at all.
No,
Kind
no.
of like, oh, thank God. Kind of.
Even like his friend's side relief.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we see where, Scuba breaks free along with Jess. And unfortunately, like Scuba is kind of fighting the Carver and he gets injured. But we see Jess like run out of the house and the Carver chases after her. Eventually, she runs down to like this old factory and she comes across a very injured sheriff on the ground.
And you're immediately like, yep, he's the guy.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Why is he
okay.
there?
And then, like, you know what adds even worse? Like, so kind of makes it even more sus is half of his face, where his burnt mask is like where, it lines up with his injury.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and you're just like, I don't know.
I just felt like we had entered the third act, and I was real excited because I'm like, oof, it's almost over.
It's almost over. Yeah. So she finds the sheriff, and then they go into the factory, and then they separate, right? And she gets attacked by the Carver, and then the sheriff shows back up, and he's like, I fired a couple shots into him. I think I got him. I think it was Bobby, your ex-boyfriend, right? And you're like, no one's buying this. Jess does, and the police do. But anyways, so my life. He ends up staying back with Jess alone because everyone else is like, hey, yeah, we got your friends to the hospital. Your dad's gonna be okay. Scuba is injured, but he's all right. And Gabby, she's doing fine. And so she's like, oh, okay. Right?
And Evan's okay too.
Yeah. Evan's very dead.
You cut to him and his
Yeah.
head just smashed in.
And so, and then like as she's alone with the sheriff, she finds out, she kind of puts it together that it's the sheriff.
Yeah, because like when she was running away from the Carver,
Yeah.
they like run through like a field or something,
And
and
got,
some
like-
of like those like weird little blowy flower things. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
Is like on the bottom of his pants,
Yeah.
and he's just like, oh,
I
figured
wish
it
I
out.
got you a little earlier.
yeah.
Just got to you before you got to the fence. And I'm like, yeah, man, if you just did. But it turns out that his motive for doing all of this is that Gina Gershon was pregnant with his baby. He's like, you took everything from me. And then it like does a weird pan to like a picture of her and then to like
A baby photo.
yeah, like a
But it's like a whole baby.
Yeah.
Ultrasound.
ultrasound. Yeah, it's like a photo
It's
of
like a
an
9-month-old baby that
Yeah.
wasn't showing.
right at all. It's like fully developed, and you're like,
The kid
she
was
doesn't
like
look pregnant.
the baby
at
was like
all.
smoking a pipe in there.
Yeah,
It was like a full-grown child.
it's
It
like,
was like a 9-year-old.
it's like the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's like a
Do you
cigar.
remember Bebe's Kids?
Yeah, I
It's-
love
it's
that movie.
baby.
Yeah,
Like at the end, he's like, here's some money to buy a pizza. Pizza man don't come around here no more.
that's such a
on.
good movie.
I know, Baby's Kids.
Uh,
That's probably the most obscure thing.
So after revealing his motive, she actually gets saved by Bobby. And it's the funniest freaking thing ever. So he's about to kill her, right? And then we just see like a wrench fly through the window and hit him in the head. And you're like, the golden arm is back. Because who else would that be except Bobby? So it turns out...
What a setup and payoff.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that, James Cameron.
So, they kind of rush out, and eventually they set off like an explosion and
Of a giant turkey.
of the giant turkey. And,
Wait, he said there will be no leftovers.
yeah, killer
Killer
line.
I have in my notes, there will be no leftovers. Isn't as cool as Eli Roth thinks.
Killer. So the sheriff gets taken out by the explosion. But
The explosion, which they still had the turkey,
right, deflated.
deflated.
Yeah. So as she is, getting looked at by the EMTs and stuff, all her friends show back up. Her friend Scuba and Gabby, and I think her dad's there, and they're all like, "Yeah, it was the sheriff. Could you believe it? This whole time." And
I
then,
guess I could.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense because
It's like the
at one
obvious
point they're
choice.
like, he has to be ex-military, and it's like, oh, if you didn't figure it out then, I don't know. So at one point, the one fireman, he comes out and he goes, "Man, dude, everything went up inside. No way someone ever survived that."
Except this giant turkey.
And except this guy walking out in slow motion, covered, in, like his face is all covered. And I guess it's supposed to be like, maybe the sheriff is that person. I don't know. It's weird. But he walks out in like slow motion. They're like, no way anyone survived that. And then we have where it cuts to, Ryan shows up. That's right. Ryan's there. And he's like, "I'm so sorry I missed everything." And I'm like, what a waste of that character. You have
I
like
know.
stupid Bobby. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. Whatever. But
See, it would have been awesome if he just like took a bunch of Adderall and just started kicking the shit out of
he just beat the
Carver.
shit out of the Carver.
Carver's like trying to slash at him. He's just going too fast.
Yeah, he's just like,
like
I'm on Adderall, man.
Adderall and bath salts.
He just like punches the Carver over and over. It's about 150
Maybe I
punches.
shouldn't take this stuff anymore. Jess, I need help. It's just like
It's like
it's
excessive.
like turned into like mush.
Yeah. So Ryan shows up with her friends, and they get the news. They didn't find anything, but there's no way anyone survived. And then we see where Jess is in bed with Ryan, and she has this dream, and it's like she goes to the closet, and the Carver is in there, and he's on fire, and he grabs her. And then that's where the movie ends. Like it's just like a bad nightmare. And I'm like, I don't know about that ending. Did you like it?
No,
Okay, I was like, I don't know if I felt that. You know what I mean?
I felt it was just,
No, but the end credits made up for it though.
The end
'cause they-
credits
The
are real
end
fun.
credits
Credits
are
were cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
They felt like they're for a different movie though.
That's
Um,
true.
Yeah, like I love that the use of the Misfits song. I love that
It
song.
kind of reminded me of like the end credits to like those new Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. They play the Misfits, and it's like, I ain't no goddamn son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But I love it, and yeah, you're right. The end credits are amazing.
The music like makes the movie.
Yeah,
really
it really
fun.
does. But as far as the rest of the movie, let's get into that. Carl, what did you think?
I mean, overall, I kind of liked it. For being like what it is, like a corny, B-list movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
Yeah, me too. I would say, yeah, I liked it. It's definitely not in. I don't know, like it's not like one of those that I would rewatch a lot.
It's not quotable.
It's not quotable. It definitely isn't.
What
quotable.
about fuck you?
Fuck you, fuck.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
What the fuck? Fuck
that,
you.
that line is gonna go on forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it has a lot of rewatchability, right? Like I feel like you could watch this and maybe
One and done.
a one and done. Yeah. I feel like if you do watch it, maybe more and more, maybe you can get more out of it. But I really don't think so. I think it's like really surface level.
Yeah.
Like everything is there.
I felt like how there's a scene where the guy cuts his neck, and then they come back to it. Like that could have
Did
been.
you envy him?
Yeah, that could have been comical had they like rolled a little bit longer. They could be like, oh dang, like and just
If he still went for like the because he doesn't he still go for the waffle?
He
line?
still goes for the.
Yeah.
He dies with the waffle maker in his hands, but again, it's like he doesn't know that he's injured because all this blood is like spilling out of his neck, and he's not like. I should hold it for a sec while I get this waffle maker.
He just needs to get that thing for some reason.
I got it, and then he's just like, and dies. But I liked it, but I don't think it's like in. It's not like something I would rewatch a lot. But how about you?
As far as Eli Roth goes, I feel like I've seen the majority of his movies.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I really like any of them. I like Cabin Fever.
I would say Cabin Fever is the only movie I really liked.
And that's one of those movies like I feel like if I had somebody watch it now who hadn't seen it, they might not feel the same way I did about it when I saw it back when it first opened.
Right.
'Cause when it first came out, it just felt so like unique and specific.
Yeah.
That I was like, this is kind of cool. Thanksgiving is probably his best movie that he's made in a while. And that's not saying a lot.
Yeah.
I think I think this movie was perfectly made when it was just a trailer.
Did you see? He had a movie that came out this year called Borderlands.
I didn't see it, and I don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Carl and I saw Borderlands.
I heard it wasn't very good.
It's maybe the worst movie I saw this year.
Yeah, but that's on par for him because I feel like he is such a fan of this stuff, and when he gets to play with like the horror stuff, he's really good.
Yeah.
But it's just his characters are awful, and like he's not a very good like storyteller. Another one of those like Rob Zombie types where maybe somebody should be writing his scripts for him, and then he could just and then I think he would do a really good job. But
Rob Zombie is so weird because sometimes it really works, and then sometimes it just doesn't.
It just depends on the characters. Like it's like his dialogue works perfectly in Devil's Rejects, maybe not so much in like Halloween.
Right.
But again, Halloween was like his Halloween, so he could do whatever he wants with it. It's like his version of it, so that's fine.
I liked 31. Did you see that?
I saw it.
Yeah, I liked it more than because you know what, I went into it. A lot of people were like, "Oh,
this sucks."
Yeah, so when I watched it, I was like, "Oh no, it's
too
not
bad.
that bad." And I like the monsters too.
I thought Monsters was lots of fun.
Yeah,
I also like. I know like you guys weren't wild about it, but I remember seeing Lords of Salem and being like, "This is maybe his best looking movie as far as like being him trying to be like Rob Zombie as a filmmaker." Like I feel like his aesthetic is like perfect in that movie.
Yeah.
Again, maybe not the best dialogue. Whatever. But you know, he's another one. I guess it isn't fair because I think he is such a specific filmmaker. Like I feel like he makes the exact type of movies he wants to make. So I'm not going to give Rob Zombie crap for that. Eli Roth, on the other hand, I don't think that he's got like a point of view per se. I feel like he's just kind of like a frat boy making a horror film.
I think he falls into, wouldn't it be cool if and not really like,
bro, wouldn't it be cool, like one of those things?
Yeah, I feel like because a lot of horror movies do fall into wouldn't it be cool if, and then instead of like, oh, there's like a lot of subtext here, you know what I mean, like I there's like deeper like maybe social commentary.
Yeah, this isn't The Mist.
Wouldn't it be cool if Black Friday were actually a thing? And like, you know how like you used to watch in the 90s when people got crushed, and like, what if it still happened today?
Dude,
wouldn't
it be cool if like people just like got crushed to death during Black Friday?
What if like I made a movie called Thanksgiving, but it's about Black Friday? Wouldn't that be cool?
Plot is about. So it takes place on Thanksgiving, but it's literally about Black Friday.
His biggest problem, I think, with this movie for me, I don't know how other people feel about this, but I think he should have committed to the original aesthetic of the trailer. And the only reason I say that is that if you remove all the shit with the cell phone and stuff, and you make it kind of like commit to that time period. Yeah. This movie felt like one of those really early 80s slasher films that not a lot of people were aware of. Like it wasn't like a Friday the 13th, like a Final Exam or House of Sorority Row or something. Yeah. Where it's sort of like this
Terror Train kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like Lost in the Shuffle horror film. Like it could have had that kind of cool thing where you find it and you're like, oh, this is really
this is
cool.
cool. Yeah.
But he tried to make it like modern-y, but it was very much like a throwback. But I will say this, for Eli Roth, it's one of my, I would say maybe my second favorite of his, but that's not saying a lot because I'm not a huge fan of his movies. But I do think he's got, I do think he's got a lot of talent as like he could have a lot of talent, I guess.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If he just had like a better script and was a better storyteller, I do feel like he could make a really good horror film. I think
so too. I think like if he was like, oh, I really love the screenplay, I won't change. You know, like there's like great dialogue and stuff, and someone did write a great screenplay for him. I think he could do a lot of like good stuff.
Or if like somebody said, "Hey, Eli Roth, you're gonna make this movie."
Yeah,
and
maybe if he co-writes. Maybe
like a George Lucas type of thing in like Empire, where it's like, here's my story. I'm gonna have somebody else write it and flesh it out a little bit more. Because again, he could make a really good horror film. He just doesn't make characters that I can invest myself into. You know what I mean? Like they just feel very like unlikable and very generic, and there's no like depth to any of them. So like when they die, you're just like, cool kill scene.
Yeah.
But it's again like sometimes you can do stuff like that. But there's a specific kind of code you have to crack, like in those Friday the 13th movies. Like I could watch those over and over and over again, and they have kind of throwaway generic characters, but they're fun. I don't know how to explain it. It's such a weird line you have to walk.
I think like directors fall into kind of like this weird ego thing maybe sometimes where they're like, oh, I have to write it and direct it. Like
I know.
I can't. You know, like other directors, like Steven Spielberg, will be like, "Oh, this person wrote it. I'll direct it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not like, "Oh, I have to write everything I touch." I don't know if that like starts with like a lot of people don't realize. Like,
they want to be like auteurs.
Yeah, I think like Pulp Fiction, right? A lot of people don't realize Quentin Tarantino co-wrote that.
With.
I can't think of his name right now. But
Roger Avery, is that his name?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize that. So I think a lot of people are like, oh, I have to be like Quentin Tarantino. I have to write and direct all my stuff. You know what I mean? But if you look at like even like Wes Anderson, all my favorite stuff is like the stuff he co-wrote with like Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Or like other people and like his compared to his like just solo run stuff. I definitely think he benefits from like a co-writer. And I think sometimes directors should just be like, I should get a professional like screenwriter in here.
Yeah, like even Hitchcock, like he didn't write stuff really.
And there's so many directors
like he just like
that
would have recognized a good script, and then he would probably just like, dissect it and turn it into like a Hitchcock movie. But yeah, like certain filmmakers can do that like writer director thing.
Right.
Like James Cameron is quite good at it.
Yeah. There are a lot of like great writer directors, but I also think
but not
like
everybody
sometimes
should be.
Yeah, I think like Eli Roth is a person who would probably benefit from like a co-writer.
Yeah, like he cannot write a script for shit. I mean,
I think he has great ideas.
Exactly, but just somebody needs to rein it in.
Yeah.
And then I think he would make like just if he didn't have the burden of himself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I feel like
you
he could
tell,
really just open up and really make something special.
I feel like you said it perfectly. Like all the horror stuff is like so good in this movie, but when it comes to like dialogue and pushing a plot forward, it's just like
doesn't know how to do it.
What's going on here? Yeah,
it does that thing that drives me nuts with movies because I remember when I was a kid, I used to do this. Okay, when I'd write, you do that thing where you're like, this scene happens, and then it's just like you jump to something that's doesn't really have like a rhythm,
right?
But like as you get older with this stuff, and you actually start to learn like what good storytelling is, it's like everything has to have a purpose. Like every like moment needs to lead into another moment naturally, organically, and when it doesn't, it just feels like kind of choppy. It fucks up the pacing, and then the movie feels like it's long.
Right.
And that's this movie. Like I was like watching
Like the rationale behind Scoob, like the name Scoob is just like really kind of.
What is that?
It's
It's
a
just
throwaway
like
thing.
I think it was like, oh, this is gonna crush
You're gonna
as
laugh.
a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you
This is
really
gonna
think
make
about it,
people
it's
put
like
their cell phones away in the theater.
yeah. I mean, like it's just like one of those things. It didn't feel authentic. Like if we put it like we made a movie and we're like, oh, we're gonna have a character named Crazy Carl. It has an authentic kind of basis because like we do call Carl like sometimes Crazy Carl, right? So it
Because
just
of all
comes
that
off
stuff he did that he went to jail for. But go on.
exactly. And but there's like a little bit of realism there, you know what I mean? And like comes from a real place. And I think a lot of times like when writers do that, like when they're writing, it comes from a real place.
Yeah.
And so good writers, right? Like there's some kind of truth that's coming from somewhere. And then there's writers like maybe Eli Roth who is like, oh, this is going to kill. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what could I name this character? Scoob or Scuba.
Robo.
Yeah, like Scuba.
Shit we used to call
and
each
then-
other in college.
And then I have this joke where people are like, what's your real name? And it's like Diving. And it's like, oh, yeah, good. You're better off going by Scuba. And it's
Ain't
like,
that funny?
yeah. And it's like, I don't know.
we'll run
Diving's
this-
not a bad name. You know what I mean?
We'll run this scene once.
Yeah.
Because that's how that felt. But anyway.
Anyways, let's go into a thing we like to do where we like to rate movies with emojis.
Ooh.
So, if Rory, you would like to go first.
I have a turkey.
Oh gosh.
Big giant ass
That's
turkey.
good. That's good.
I got a cat for that cat actor.
Yeah.
Probably of all the Freakquels movies we've done so far, the best cat acting that I've seen in any of them. I got a little pilgrim,
Oh,
Nice.
right? I got an axe,
Perfect.
a blood drop, and a snoozy face, like a sleepy face, like a yawning.
Yeah.
'Cause I was
oh,
kind of
no.
feeling a
I know.
little long in the
I
tooth.
know the perfect emoji, like the one with the lady and she has her hands up and she's like, "What?" Like
Yeah,
she
that's
doesn't
fair.
know.
Yeah.
IDK.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like a turkey
good.
and then like someone shrugging.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I'm trying to see. All right. I'm going to go with an axe because that's what the Carver,
Mhm.
John Carver used a lot.
Uh-huh.
A turkey, and then a little vomit emoji because of the dad when he sees like his wife on the table carved up like a turkey.
Oh yeah.
He's like, and he like barks through his.
Did
like,
you ever see the original take?
No.
He goes,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean that makes sense. But yeah, that would be. Those are my emojis. Okay, and now let's go into plugs. Carl, do you have anything coming up or interests or stuff you want to plug?
I don't have any I want to plug right now because I'm in physical therapy and going to OT. So just my Instagram is Carl is a monkey, all one word.
Hell yeah.
this actually came back true, didn't it?
Yeah.
Genetic test.
Yeah.
It's like he's part monkey.
He's part monkey, part human. All Carl.
100% Carl.
100% Carl. So Carl is a monkey on Instagram. And what about like any friends that do music that you want to plug?
Oh, my friend Adam Farley.
Yeah.
He's the guy that wrote that Carson song that you
Yeah.
can download really anywhere or stream, whatever you do with your fucking time.
Yeah.
Anywhere you get your music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a really good song. And doesn't he have a website?
He has a website.
He has a website.
Good job.
Adam's gonna be so
Crushed it.
Yeah, Adam's gonna be so pumped with that plug.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, yeah.
www.com.
com. Perfect. Carl, Adam's gonna be like, oh, the Mills Man prophecy. What's he doing?
Adam Farley Music, I think.
Yeah, Adam Farley Music.
.com.
I don't know.
.org.
Oh my gosh.
.edu.
No, I was thinking of Adam and Jim's thing.
Oh yeah.
Join them on Instant Messenger.
All right, Carl. Next time you come on, work on your plug.
I was not told.
I feel like I have like a spoon, and I'm like, here you go, just feeding you all the plugs. Okay, Rory, you go ahead.
I got Raven View Productions, which you can find on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. Be looking out for new content from FREAKQUELS podcast that goes through Raven View, and I got some fun film stuff coming up soon.
Yeah.
Fourth cut reviews.
Wait, what fun film stuff do you have
I
coming
can't
up?
talk about it right
shit.
now. I know,
But I'm involved.
yeah, you're always gonna be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find ways to just rope EJ into anything. I'm like, I need to start a podcast. EJ, what are you doing? Indefinitely.
Nothing much.
I'll sign on. Hey, you want to join something where you're not going to get paid?
Yeah.
Well, we started to.
Yeah. Vince is still suffering.
Yeah, he's still suffering.
Even
He's actually
still.
burying his family right now.
Yeah.
They all starve to death. Fourth Cut Reviews is a review site. You could see some videos from our keyboard warrior buddy Chris Conforti
Yeah.
doing stuff on the internet.
As Vince would say, what a lame nickname.
It's what it is, and I'm not going to change it. Variant Season is our buddy Will Perna. He has a kick-ass rock band that you should look up on YouTube, really anywhere you listen to your music.
YouTube,
and if you like rock
Spotify,
music, seriously,
iTunes.
it is just something really special, and it just keeps getting better and better. Gravy Diggers, the pot pie that you're lucky to survive. We got Real Chronicles, that is the podcast from our buddy, friend of the show, Dave Gonzalez. If you want to listen to some really, really fun movie conversations, if you're not burnt out from our bullshit, give them a listen. So I did a trip to Sleepy Hollow for Halloween.
Yes.
And I did this. It was basically like a murder tour in the cemetery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was like a lantern tour.
That's awesome.
So it was like really late at night, and we went out to the cemetery in Sleepy Hollow, and this tour guide took us around and just told us all these stories. It's called Murder and Mayhem Sleepy Hollow Cemetery Tour. Our guide, Laura, just the absolute perfect person to do something like this. Like, she was so funny and like just kept my attention the whole time.
And that's hard to do, right?
Well, kind
and
of.
a Ramones fan, you said, right?
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I've been on tours before, and some of the guides are just so like not charismatic, and I just find myself thinking about stuff. Like, I'll like watch this fly swarming around my head because I like smell really bad. So I tracked a lot of those, and I get caught up in it. But she's taking us around. She's just basically telling us all these different stories of people that were buried there, like family dramas, murders, things like that. It's like really interesting. But we get to the end of the tour, and she's like, so is anybody here a Ramones fan? And I'm like, what the fuck? Of course. Like, I got really excited because people at home might not know this, but EJ and I are big, giant, like, Ramones nerds.
Hell yeah, we is.
I have this like weird side hobby where I try to find like all the original Ramones albums on vinyl, and I'm only like 3 away from completing the whole thing. But I love the Ramones. So she literally ends a tour. She's like, well, where we're standing right now is where they shot the music video for Pet Sematary. And I got so fucking excited because she's like, anyone over here a Ramones fan? And Beck and I are like, we are, and no one else. No one else knew what the fuck she was talking about. And then at the end of the tour, I went over and I was like, oh, man, you did such an awesome job. And she's just like, yeah, I'm like really glad that you guys knew who the Ramones were. She's like, it's like sometimes I take people on these tours and we get to that part and it's like no one knows. And it makes me real sad that like something so special as the Ramones is kind of like falling into obscurity, which is gross. and you know who they are. If you've
Yeah.
ever gone to like a Green Day concert, I mean, they start their goddamn shows with Blitzkrieg Bop. So, anyway, last little thing I want to throw out there is kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue. The cats need you, America. Get out there.
They need you now.
They need you. Yes, that was one of them. Part monkey and part cat. Yeah, you can adopt a cat like I did. I got a baby Ella. She is a cat, has fur, eyeballs, some ears, and she's adorable. Lots of fun to pet. She's getting softer as time has gone by.
Wow.
And she likes to sleep under the blankets. And whatever I'm doing, she has to be there, and it makes me feel calm. So if you would also like to have something in your life that makes you feel calm and special, and like maybe not wanting to shove a gun in your mouth, adopt a cat. Or you can. Well, that's my life, Carl. You can donate your time, donate some food. You can donate blankets. You can just like show up and just have conversations with these
Donate
cats.
blood?
Yeah, you can give the cats blood. They'll lick it up.
No, they do blood transfusions.
The cats. It's
Hit
really.
me up.
They got a real weird thing going on over there at Kitties of
Tell me
Pet
off.
Rescue. They like to pop Adderall and do blood transfusions. You get real lightheaded if you keep taking it out. Fucking awesome.
You see sprinkles down there? It's got human blood in it. Motherfucker's got human blood.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
But that's all I have, fuckers.
Yeah, I would like to do a few plugs. Adam Farley's music. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes.
Are we doing this again because Carl did such a good job?
No, it's just messing. And Crystal Lou's music. You can check that out on
Carl just
Spotify.
punched the microphone.
Yeah, girls like punch the microphone.
I got really angry.
The crazy monkey part of him's coming out.
Yeah. Carl.
That was a good monkey.
Thank you.
That was bananas.
It's Planet of the Apes. That's how I roll. And then I would like to. Oh yes, Three Jacks Burger Bar. You can find it in Dunmore. Best burgers in town.
In the galaxy.
In the galaxy. The freaking galaxy.
Yeah.
And the burger of the month is the
It's a Thanksgiving gobbledygooker.
Gooker. Yeah.
With a little bit of egg in it.
No.
No.
Your plugs are not landing.
He's like, egg? No, man.
Well, you should, every time you come on, you should ask if this is the
You
burger with
said
the egg in it.
gobbledygook, so I pictured an egg, like a burger with an egg in it.
There is one, but
Yeah.
that's the July burger.
Oh, okay.
That's the
Oh.
wake-up call.
Got my mouth smith.
Wake-up
No,
call.
the gobbledygooker, it's a 6-ounce beef patty with shaved turkey, a tempura
Cranberry sauce?
stuffing puck, which is amazing, and it has cranberry Dijon mayo that you can spread on that bitch,
Yeah.
and it comes with fries or chips,
Ooh.
and you can upgrade it.
What are you going to upgrade it
You can
to?
upgrade it to like onion rings
Oh, God.
sometimes. Yeah, try that burger.
Try it out. Also, I want to promote our buddy, the new metal messiah,
Metal Messiah, Jon Snow.
Check out the Eastern Tribute Collective.
Sorry, the way you said his name, I was really entertained.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I mean, he's the best.
Yeah.
Like, what else can you say about Jon Snow?
A
except,
true disciple to the termite Satan.
yeah, a true disciple. But he is incredible. Check out his shows. Go to EasternTributeCollective.com. There's a Facebook. There's an Instagram. You could see all the different shows that he has coming up, and he's in like 19 different types of bands. I don't know if that's
47.
True. Yeah, it's probably in the 40s now. But check out Jon Snow. I'm not even joking.
I
You
believe
have to
right
see
now
him
there's
live.
like they're developing an ace of base cover band.
Yeah, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
Check out
I'm
the
just starting
Ramones.
Shit.
Oh, you have another
I
plug?
want to chime in.
I want to check in the Ramones.
Yeah.
Check them out
so
before they
don't
die.
fall off face of the earth.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
The
listen to
Ramones.
Rocket to Russia.
Also, check out Shanty Hill Design. They helped hook us up with our website.
Mike,
Mike the Vinci.
our Da Vinci.
He's our Da Vinci. He is incredible, and the work they do there is outstanding.
Spellbinding.
So you gotta check that out.
Blow your dick off.
Right the fuck off. And then I'm trying to think what else is to plug. I don't even
Nothing was in the show.
I feel like we plugged everything. Oh, go to Right Mart on Black Friday.
Yeah.
That's this Friday. They're having a special on their waffle.
Just make sure you're angry about something before you get there.
And try to cut your neck on some glass.
Yeah. And then get trampled a little
Trample over some people.
bit. All for a waffle iron.
Waffle irons.
See how stupid that sounds when you say it out loud, Eli Roth?
See how that sounds?
Hey, you know what? He's going to be at Monster Mania this week, and I'm going
I know.
to give him a piece of my mind.
Yeah, we should. We should
Like,
go
hey-
up to him and be like, hey, man.
We should be like real flattering.
This is
Yeah.
happening in November, and it's Thanksgiving. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're not-
Eli Roth was last month.
Oh, yeah. It was like 2 weeks ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying time is relative.
Yeah. Time is an illusion, like Philip K. Dick said. No, but I feel like when we see Eli Roth,
If we did.
/ saw
Yeah.
Eli Roth,
It's a mystery.
we had stuff to say.
We had things to say.
and we said it,
yeah.
and we will say it.
What we should do if we do it, and when we do or don't do
Yeah.
it, we should just say to him, be like, hey, we have this really flattering episode that we did of our podcast.
We just loved you.
What I'm
Yeah.
telling you, get a nice glass of wine, get into the bathtub, listen to FREAKQUELS.
Just, yeah,
We-
and don't have a toaster nearby.
Pop some Adderall, and
Yeah.
anyway, but moving on.
But moving on, and finally, I do want to plug our website, FREAKQUELSPodcast.com. If you're looking for some T-shirts, some glassware, like a beer kind of pint.
Yeah, pint
thing.
glass.
We have coffee
cup,
mugs. We have sweatshirts.
shirts.
Do you have
Hoodies.
bibs?
Got bibs
We got
coming.
yeah, they're on the way.
Yeah, they're in development.
They're in development.
Because I get dirty eating my Thanksgiving dinner.
I know.
Ooh,
It's really
we should have
it's
a.
very off-putting.
We should actually, for merchandise, we won't give Carl any money for this, but we should have a bib and it's just his face on it. And it's
But like
that
his
could be-
face, but like we can make him kind of look like a monkey.
yeah, it'll be like a cartoon version of Carl where it's like
Oh,
he has monkey like
Ears.
Yeah, and he's just like, eat up, boys.
Yeah.
Eat up,
Be like,
boys.
it'll say Thanksgiving is bananas.
It's bananas. Love it.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, you could hit us up there. You could email us there. You could find all our contacts for our Instagram and our Facebook, and you could see
And
pictures
MySpace.
from every what was that?
MySpace.
MySpace.
Oh, no, we don't have MySpace.
Oh.
We got to work on it.
We have OnlyFans, OnlyFins, Only Pheromones.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, Schwartz.
Short Streamboat.
Yeah.
Check out his TikToks.
Look that shit up.
Yeah, they're
Get his
really
followers
good.
up.
Yeah.
The guy's a comedic genius that you're all sleeping on.
So funny, super funny. So make sure to check that out. And
Idiots.
then also, yeah, like you could email us if you have any questions, concerns, or
If you're feeling
requests. If you're feeling lonely, Rory's
Feeling hot.
ready to answer all your emails.
Drunkenly belligerent. The fuck you want to know
What
that
the
for?
fuck do you want to know that for? What's the matter with you?
Get a fucking job.
Get a job, you fucking bastard. I'm on Adderall.
What's
sorry.
my favorite movie?
favorite movie? Fuck you.
What do you want to know that for?
Fuck you. But guys, thank you so much. Thanks to our guest Carl. Please come back anytime. Love you, buddy. I know we're best friends. It doesn't matter anyways, but you'll be back. But love you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks
You
for
rocked,
having me.
man.
Thank
You
you.
rocked. And thank you to all the listeners at home. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in every single week. I know we're crazy and ungrateful, but we are grateful for you guys. Yeah, we really are. And it really means a lot. We've got a couple messages, and it meant a lot. And we both talked about it today, and we're like, that's crazy. But we're so happy that
we've had a couple instances where people have like reached out, actually more than a few times, where they're just kind of saying like, you know, the world can be kind of hectic and scary and crazy, and then they listen to a couple of idiots just like making each other laugh, and it kind of takes them out of it, so it's awesome. So thanks for reaching out. It means a lot.
Yeah, it really means a lot. So
humanity, get it out of me.
Get out of there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fill my body with Doritos.
Well, let's just go beat up Vince. But guys, thank you so much for listening, and with that being said, thank you for listening to That is some Waffle House
level cringe. And of course it was